everybody, and we are live. How are you guys doing? Hopefully doing well.
Not bad.
You like my ISS impression?
I always have to wait 10 seconds before I laugh to see what Flats is doing when introducing the show.
I impersonated an astronaut on the ISS.
See, looking through the windows and that. That's like Jernism's program where he looks through the little module and does his little skit where he thinks he's funny. But he's not.
But it's good to see you guys. We got Mr. PJ, Cruikshank, and Michael Kahn in Element. How are you guys doing?
Not bad.
I was letting Michael go then, because we haven't gone for a little while. I thought he was going to elaborate on not bad. You're still not feeling too well though, are you, Michael?
Not bad, not good.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's good to have you. It's good to have you back though.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm the one that's a bit sick today, so yeah, you guys must excuse my voice. It does sound very down low.
Down low.
Hey, you.
There's no point coming on when there's a coughing and spluttering. Nobody has to hear that, right? You know?
Yeah, of course not.
So yeah, guys, tonight is just a you decide the topic. Because it was supposed to be the Mandela effect tonight, but I really decided let me move it on because I really want Dave and Brian on together with that show because I think it's an important one, the Mandela Bible effect. Because I mean, I'm busy working on a presentation for it, so I think there's a lot that they can also bring to the table. So I got a poll going up, just a simple one. Do you enjoy debating reality? And it's almost 50-50. Yes, 47%, no, 53%. So the people that say no, what are you doing here?
Or not doing here. You know what I mean? Because they probably just came in and pissed off.
Yeah. So I just want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Sean Hawkins, for coming in. We do know you are idiotic, but it's fine to have you, and I'm glad you can make it. PJ Cruikshank, obviously, here. Dustin Burns, too. Good to see you, mate. Michael Kahn, obviously. Who else did I see? Timothy Southwick. It's always great to have you, mate. Moxie. Hey. Who else? Sasquatch Rose Farts. Thank you for coming. Mojo Shop. Identity Verification. Always good to see you, too. And I saw... Who else? Alan Norstrand. Hey, mister. Thank you for coming. Debatable D. Great for you coming. Richard G. Thank you for coming. And obviously Nathan Oakley. Always great to see you, mate. And Acoustic Ludacy. So yeah, it's good to see you guys. Thank you all for coming. Now
acoustic Flats, acoustic. Just a correction. It's acoustic lucidity.
Lucidity. Lucidity. Yeah. Maybe I have ADHD that I don't know about.
It's just kind of ironic that the last name is lucidity and you said it wrong.
And we also got Jolly Man in and the Missing Research. Missing Research is always great to see, man. He says, I don't like debating reality, but it is great discussion especially with rational humans with open minds. I agree about that. Yeah, if it's a discussion with logical people that actually are rational and don't just, how can I put it, lie out of their teeth to try and keep their ego alive, I'd say yeah. Hey, man, good to see you. Thank you for coming. Because, I mean, we see it all the time, that people don't want to concede when they're wrong. Doesn't matter what you show them, they'll just say nah and make fun of you and ad hom you instead of actually just take what has been. Hey, Bane Bear, it's always great to see you, mate. Yeah, we're taking requests on topics. So everybody can show topics that they want. But before we start on that, I just want to... I got a topic I want to start on with. Cool. From Debatable D. He brought out a video recently. Godzilla 37, thank you very much for coming in, mate. I really, really appreciate you. He's given 5 memberships, so guys, please do accept it. It's always great to see you in, Godzilla. Thank you very much for the support. You are awesome, mate. I can't tell.
Brian just got one.
I was just going to say, it looks like Brian's dropped off. Right?
One thing I have to say, guys, I have to say at the bottom of my heart, I really, really do appreciate all the support you guys give to this channel. Even the people that just hit the like button or just share the show and come. So I really, really appreciate it. You guys are really awesome, and you make this channel well worth it to carry on with. So thank you very much.
We must have about 7,000 members due to Godzilla.
He keeps bringing them in, so I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, welcome Psych Bear to being a member again. MC Scorpio, great to see you as a member. Low Fruit and Brian Stavely, it's always great to have you, mate. Not One as well, and Taylor Vision. So yeah, Godzilla says, well, I'm in, but I feel a nap coming on. I'm too old over here. Well, I'm happy you could make it though. So, the Bane said we can talk about stand-up comedy. We can if you really want to.
Stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy on a flat earth stage.
Lately, I've been watching a lot of dad jokes, so I've been enjoying that. But I wanted to first bring up this topic because this was actually very interesting from Debatable D. And by the way, guys, please subscribe to him. I think both my accounts are subscribed to him. The only 2 subscribers now is me, Flatsoid, and my Spraymate account.
Debatable D?
Yeah, because his one video is about me debunking maths in reality.
Yeah, put his link in chat.
Okay, yeah. Guys, do go and subscribe to Debatable D because it looks like he's going to start bringing out more videos, which I really encourage. So yeah, it's good to see. But let's watch his video. Debatable D, you would be fine if we show the video, that I don't have to pause it every 2 minutes probably. I don't think you're going to copyright strike me or anything, correct? If you say yes, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll have to stop it every 10 seconds. Just let me know. But I don't think you're that type of guy, though. Are you? Yeah. He wants explanation. Explanation for stand-up comedy. I don't know how I'll give an explanation for that. You stand on the stage and you make comedy and hope people laugh. That's about it. The problem with stand-up comedy today, it's very vulgar.
Yeah, it is.
The more vulgar you make it today, the funnier it is, apparently.
Yeah, the jokes nowadays is mostly sexual jokes or political jokes or things like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Debatable D says it's fine. Okay, let's do so. Guys, do go subscribe to Debatable D. Let's get him at least over 10 subscribers. Let's do this. Yeah.
Hello, friends. I've been hanging out on a few Flat Earth live streams and Discord channels recently, despite my better judgment. They sure make a lot of claims. One I saw recently was that objects do not accelerate towards the Earth. I thought I would make a short video to demonstrate that this does indeed happen. I found 2 interesting videos. I've linked them both in the description. In this first video, we can see a ball bearing falling. There are distance demarcations and a running timer. I have paused the video at each equidistant demarcation, and we can see that the ball bearing covers each subsequent distance faster. We are using constant distance and measuring the change in time. As you can see, the time decreases for each distance that the ball has traveled. In the second video from MIT, we will see someone demonstrate how the distance covered by a falling object gets larger per time interval. The time interval is constant as they are using a strobing light. Here we see the final image, a composition of each strobed image. If the objects were simply falling at a constant velocity, the time intervals in the first video would be consistent just like the distance intervals. And in the second video, the distance intervals would be the same and constant as the time intervals. However, that is not the case, which tells us that the velocity is increasing, and thus the object is accelerating. So, what is causing it? What is causing it to accelerate? We can call it whatever we like, but we would need an explanation of this observation. Science calls this gravity. The more we study it, the more we expand our explanation of how and why gravity operates, from Newton to Einstein and to modern gravitational theory.
So yeah, guys, I have to say that was a good video. I mean, I'm not gonna fault it because it is based on Debatable D's religion. But I have to tell you, it's simple. We're not debating that it falls and accelerates down. Obviously, there's definite acceleration. I mean, what happens when you let it go? It starts at 0, correct? It has to accelerate. It doesn't just start at terminal velocity.
Can I comment, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
It said gravity is what science calls it. Have you got any science for gravity?
Nope.
Maybe it's pseudoscience, but I don't know about real science.
But I also got to ask him, just like a ball bearing can accelerate downwards, a helium balloon accelerates upwards. It doesn't start at terminal velocity. So yeah, the argument is not things don't accelerate. Yes, things accelerate. The problem is what you guys are claiming causes it. Because gravity is now based in pseudo-Romanian conceptual fourth space that is not a force. And you require a force to accelerate a mass. You understand? So that's why it cannot be gravity. And as Rachie said, hey Rachie, good to see you. According to Einstein, the Earth is moving outwards towards the ball bearing. The ball bearing is not falling. The Earth is accelerating up towards the ball bearing.
Everybody says, why Dan? Wouldn't it be mad if you dropped something and it went sideways and you had to dive to catch it? I mean, it's just...
It's idiotic.
The way it's created, you know?
The ball... Yeah.
Can you just clarify that talk about Earth accelerating upwards? That's Einstein.
Yeah.
Is that right? It's not Earth's not actually moving up in real life.
So yeah, Debatable D, if you want to come and discuss it or anybody else, I do have the Discord open. So if you guys are really wanting to come have a discussion, please do. So yeah. If that's the topic you guys want to discuss a bit, I think that's an interesting topic to discuss for a while. While we wait for him, we can talk about... what was it? You guys are talking about stand-up comedy. I don't have a favorite comedian because, like I said, it's very vulgar these days. So I'm not really into stand-up comedy. Hey Lotion, it's good to see you, mate. How you doing? Can you hear me? Lotion, are you there? Hello, Lotion. You are on 98.5 KFM. How are you doing, sir? I don't think
you need to get Lotion to join Element.
Yeah, definitely. I think we must DM him the link. It's going to be much better if he's in Element. I agree. So yeah, based on the argument, I think you did a great video on the editing and everything. Debatable D brought up a great argument to debate, but the problem is it's just a straw man actually, because no one's debating the acceleration. We're debating your cause for the acceleration. That's about it. Michael McIntyre isn't bad. The Circus Roadshow, definitely.
It's terrible.
He's not too bad. I think his jokes have watered down through the time, but he's not too bad. I like Trevor Noah still. Trevor Noah's still
Jimmy
awesome.
Carr's better than,
Jimmy Carr's the better, yeah. Or how about Trevor Noah?
I'm old, when it comes to like stand-up comedy, I'm more old school, like Billy Connolly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How's it, Lotion? How you doing?
Good. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, I just had one thing. If anybody's ever seen the G.I. Joe movie where they do Project Zeus with the tungsten rods.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the one with Bruce Willis, correct?
I don't think so.
Because he was played at G.I. Joe.
No. So just that whole idea of things dropping from a satellite, right? If the tungsten drops from the satellite and it drops out of the air, why isn't the satellite that it's being carried on dropping out of the air?
Yeah, why?
What's keeping that afloat, but not the tungsten?
I don't know. It's a movie. Movies, you can do anything.
Exactly.
Debatable D says, if you accept acceleration, then all good. My main address was that I have seen people state there is no acceleration. The specific reason, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, then I understand. But yeah, there's definitely acceleration. Anybody that claims there's no acceleration is either dishonest or blind.
Yeah, but it doesn't keep accelerating. I mean, there's terminal velocity, isn't there?
Yeah. So yeah, but the problem, like we're saying, with when it comes to the acceleration, if you had to have the argument that it's the acceleration is caused due to gravity, you have to be then fighting that the Earth is rising up towards the ball, and thus the Earth is accelerating and not the ball. So that means the Earth would have a constant acceleration, and thus debunk his argument. Because the Earth, according to the heliocentric model, doesn't change speed. It keeps the same velocity, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how does it then cause acceleration? How does it cause velocity change? Because it's supposed to be at a constant. So as soon as you let go of the ball, it's already supposed to keep that constant towards the ball. So that's a bit odd. Yeah, that topic died off quickly.
Is Lotion still there?
Yeah, Lotion's still here.
Yeah.
Very quiet today. I think he's driving.
No, I'm making some lobster claws.
Ah.
I've sent him a link anyway, Charlie, man.
Jolly man, wormholes within the common line must be all relative. Yeah, must be relative. Okay. Any main point to the video is that we do observe a force. Yeah, we call the force gravity, but the explanation is different point we could talk about further. Yeah, the problem is gravity is not a force, so we do observe a force because it's acceleration. But that means gravity is not the cause. That's the issue. Relative density disequilibrium explains the cause because we have pressure. Pressure is the force exerted on a surface. And we all know that if there's not enough pressure by the medium, it's not going to support the object. And thus the object has a greater pressure, and thus it forces itself through the medium. Hence, why it went down, because it's denser, and if it's less denser, the medium has more pressure, and thus has the pressure force to push it upwards. And that's all it is. No gravity needed. It's just relative density disequilibrium. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, is there any topics you guys would like to discuss, Michael or PJ?
I'm happy to go with whatever the chat decide.
Yeah.
What I did.
Oh yeah, guys, I'm busy working on my celestial navigation stuff. So there was a quick sneak peek. You don't need to see it all. You don't need to see it all. You don't.
I did see somebody say the other day that it's the object that's falling towards the Earth slows down before it hits the ground. I saw somebody say that the other day.
Oh, if it hits terminal velocity, then it can't go any faster. Is that what they're claiming, maybe? Because I think that's what they may be claiming. It reaches terminal velocity, and therefore it doesn't accelerate further than its terminal velocity before it hits the ground. I think that's what they may be trying to explain. Speaking of that, I mean, we got MrBeast that's debunked Coriolis. We got Veritasium that's debunked Coriolis. We got, How Ridiculous debunking Coriolis. Because they drop things from high altitudes and it lands where they want it to land. So, yeah. Odd stuff that.
Yeah, Spuds just said, what's this about the sun turning off? I heard you mention that the other night. I haven't heard of it. What is that about?
Sun turning off, I don't know. Should we try and search
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I heard someone say
When somebody switches switch.
well,
In about
yeah,
5
the,
billion years, the sun is due to turn into a red giant. The core of the star will shrink and its outer layer will expand out of the orbit of Mars, engulfing our planet in the process. Is that...
Ooh, scary.
Hey, Cygnus Step, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. Glad you can make it. He says, Mr. Beat was so right. What was he right about, mate? But it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Let's go to his video. Mr. Beast. I'm trying to think what video it was.
We're not talking about Mr. Beast that does all this charity kind of stuff, are we?
Yeah, he does a lot of charity work. He has his philanthropy channel. His philanthropy channel does all the...
right.
There we go. That was the video I was looking for. This one.
Oh, yeah, that's Mr. Beast. I'm aware of it, yeah.
So, yeah, Mr. Beast. Jimmy. Mr. Jimmy.
On this list there, I'll never ever watch.
I think he's trying to get his initiation into the club.
Well, he's definitely doing his part. There we go.
He used to be a believer, didn't he? He used to be a Christian guy, but he doesn't follow it anymore for some reason.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Let's just watch this quickly and we see what's going on.
Copter to see if the Orbeez can cushion the fall. The only problem is we haven't told him yet.
Can I borrow that?
Okay, obviously we can't play too much because you know copyright strike stuff. But guys, yeah, he's dropping a car from from quite a distance, and it's going to land in the pool. Now, according to Coriolis, the Earth would be rotating underneath the car at 480 meters a second, because I mean rim velocity. But which lats are they? Doesn't really make a difference. It's still will be quite far away from where the car should land. Because I want you guys to count with me the time it takes that car to land into the pool. Let's see how high it goes.
Right about there, that's good.
569 feet, guys. How long does it take for something to fall 569 feet about? A car, let's just for instance.
Couple of seconds.
Are we going to count together, guys? Let's count together. I'm going to keep the sound off, obviously. But let's count together how... hey, McFly, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. Let's count how much seconds that car is going to fall into there. But look, it's exactly on top. Remember, the Earth is supposed to be rotating underneath. So, let's go. Hey, Tony Whitcomb, thank you for coming. Good to see you. Let's go. Kevin, press play. When he releases, we'll count. Okay, he's releasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 seconds. If we take Mississippi, if you take Mississippi, maybe 5 seconds. I mean, how much? I mean, we said what, about 480 meters a second. How much is that times 5? That's quite a difference, guys. So Mr. Beast literally disproving Earth rotation right there.
Unless he was in the North Pole and he dropped it straight on the pole.
I highly doubt they were in the North Pole, though. Oh yeah, Tony Whitcomb. Mr. Beast is making fun of Flat Earth. He did do a Flat Earth video on it a long time ago. I actually wanted to do a video on it and I left it. When he took the magnets, trying to put the magnets through, like, I think it was... the guy went to Botswana and the other one was on the other side of the world apparently, and they didn't attract to one another. But yeah, obviously it's just a parody. It's part of pushing the agenda that Flat Earth is just a joke. But I mean, when you get videos like this where you show that there's no rotation. Yeah, exactly, Cygnus. You can't have a straight drop unless the Earth is stationary. Okay, that was him. Who was it else? So, Veritasium.
Well, how's this Mr. Beast guy come on to the understanding that what he just demonstrated is impossible on Earth.
I know. I don't even think he knows about it. He just remember they just try and do the most outrageous things that they can. So the more outrageous he can make it, the better. And most of the time when they do that, they don't realize they debunking a lot of globe claims. Just like Veritasium now. How dangerous is a penny dropped from a skyscraper?
Yeah.
You understand? So it's going to be talking about velocity, terminal velocity and stuff, and it's going to go on. But I mean, they're going to take a helicopter, he's with Adam Savage, and they're going to be dropping coins and pins and stuff from high altitudes, and it's going to be falling underneath. You understand? Look at it. I mean, that goes against.
Who said conservation of momentum isn't a thing? In fact, sorry, never said that at all.
Did that even come out of my voice? I didn't even say anything about conservation of momentum.
I know. That's that Mika Rai. I don't know how you pronounce that name.
Yeah, but Maker Ray is just a troll, because Maker Ray is always too scared to come in. So yeah, literally they're dropping pins and stuff from very high altitude. You see that it even hits in the ground, and it's just a quite a distance, guys. Trying to get into the ballistics dummy, and they go and they disprove Earth rotation. Now, you guys can claim conservation of angular momentum all you want. The air does not move with the ground.
It's got nothing to do with dropping a coin anyway, though, has it? Conservation of angular momentum.
Missing research is Flatoid. With your research, do you think it could be a globe, but globe Earth, but stationary? No. The problem is you require a rotating Earth, though, because it has to orbit around the sun and everything.
And you still don't observe any curve.
Unless it's claimed just to be geocentric, and the Earth and this Earth is standing still, and the Moon and everything is orbiting around it. But that would go against what gravity is. Larger masses attract larger masses. So you would have to not. So that would actually be counterintuitive, because the sun has the larger mass on the heliocentric model, on the globe model. So it goes against that. Moxie says so wrong. Why is it so wrong? And Mr. Andrew, good to see you, mate. You're so wrong. Can you guys come in Discord and explain why we're so wrong? Come on. You guys want to say we're wrong? Come in. I hope I made sense to you, Missing. Exactly. The higher you go up, the more angular momentum you need to keep up. Yeah, tangential velocity changes with distance. Remember, it's got to do with the distance to the center of rotation. So the higher you go up, the difference it has a difference in tangential velocity, and therefore your conservation would be different with each millimeter it falls. And by the way, you would still not have it falling straight down. You would have it falling at an angle, because with time, as it's falling down, it would be tilted in another direction. Who was else? Oh yeah, how ridiculous. These guys are also awesome channel. Been watching them for years. I don't want to go into this. I want to go into a video where they dropped a large rubber ball. Have you guys ever heard of How Ridiculous before?
No.
I enjoy their channel. They do a lot of ridiculous things, like dropping things from high altitudes, or they got a huge axe that they built that they cut things through. I think at the end, yeah, they dropped it like 2,000 meters or something. Much more people I can show that debunk Earth rotation and stuff. Let's see. I think Smarter Every Day with Dustin. I think he also did a thing. Excuse my voice, guys.
You know what I think is interesting
Yeah.
is that people say that the meteor killed dinosaurs, right?
Oh yeah. That's apparently.
Well, there's nothing coming through or going out. So what really killed them?
Yeah, that comes back to what the discussion I had last night with Rocketman, where we were discussing what is Earth classified as, and it was classified as a closed system. And a closed system means there can be no matter leaving the boundaries. You can only have energy leaving. That requires then a physical boundary. So I told him, okay, we can reverse the thing on you like you guys are doing to us. You guys want us to provide evidence of containment because we have gas pressure, which is a necessity. So your heliocentric model claims it's a closed Earth. So show us the boundary, the physical boundary, your closed system of your Earth. And then if you can do that, show us how you let astronauts and spaceships and things go through that boundary. They can't.
Because we know what killed the dinosaurs, actually. A flood. The ones that were walking died.
The Great
They were
Flood.
flooded out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the birds and the swimmers were able to make it.
But I mean, that's why you get people that usually think like the Grand Canyon was caused by the Great Flood and stuff. And then you get morons that just say, oh no, it's done through billions and millions of years. But these are the same people that believe the ape sitting next to him is his ancestor.
I mean, look at the power behind water. Do you know what I mean?
Erosion.
A worldwide flood can quite easily cut through rock like the
But I
Grand
mean,
Canyon.
erosion rates change constantly.
There were like this event that happened in America, and I'm sure some American people know what it is. I can't remember what it's called, but there was some kind of volcanic event and something to do with water that within hours caused something similar to what Grand Canyon is. I don't remember what place it's called.
Yeah. Television says, does a force require energy? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder why we're not allowed to go into the Grand Canyon?
No idea. Lumpy guys, he says, what dinosaurs?
Right. Well, I don't like using the name dinosaurs, but that's what everybody uses. They're just bigger animals.
Are you taking away my Triceratops? How dare you, Lumpy?
I've got to agree with Lucian. I do think dinosaurs existed. I think they're in the Bible.
I just don't think they are what they're telling us today.
Yeah, I don't think they look like what they show us in the museums because none of them bones are real. You know what I mean? They're all molds and stuff that. And the Bible says there were large beasts in them days and that. So I believe there was some kind of large beasts, maybe similar to the dinosaurs we see, but I don't believe the things they show us in documentaries.
I mean,
that means that everybody was looking at dinosaur bone and passed the light.
Michael, would you be able to set yourself a bit
No,
louder?
I'm not saying that. There is dinosaur bones. I believe there is things like that, but I don't believe they look like what
they said.
They're exactly what they show us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do
Michael.
think they're dinosaurs. Yeah.
Michael, would you be able to make yourself a bit louder? They say they can't hear you. Hey, better than gold. Good to see you, mate. And Dr. Irionated, also good to see you, mate. Yeah, I mean, the Bible talks about dragons and everything, and there was definitely a much more oxygen-enriched environment that time. So obviously things were bigger. I mean, giants and everything were in the land. So I agree. There were dinosaurs, but just not like they teach us today. These dinosaurs they're making up are just nonsense.
There was a time that they considered called the Bone Wars, where people were finding things, but because others wanted to prove them wrong, they actually started making their own bones, making their own skeletons, and trying to prove out others.
Yeah.
And if you look, I think there's somewhere written somewhere, I'm pretty sure I've read it, that there's no complete skeleton in any of the museums ever. Not a full skeleton was ever found.
Yep.
No.
They recreated what they thought these things looked like.
Yeah, but you see, they need the dinosaurs in their paradigm like that to give missing links to the evolution model. It's like the god it's like the god of the gaps kind of thing. That's why. So they need it to fix those gaps in the missing links. if it wasn't for that, then no one would believe in evolution. You understand? So that's why they have it the way they do. I mean, they've taken the same bones and rearranged it to make like 10 different dinosaurs. You understand? With the same bones.
Oh yeah.
And the word dinosaur is only about 200 years old, something like that itself. The word dinosaur.
Yeah, it's actually based from dragons.
Yeah.
It was an interesting.
I would love
It was an
for a
interesting.
dragon to be real.
I said missing research says is everything made up of atoms, and smaller than atoms are protons, neutrons, and now called quarks. Then nothing is physical, or what am I missing? I think it's just the compactness of those, the matter that gives physicality. So I still think it's physical. It's just more compact. And then I say, hey liefie, dankie dat jy ingekom het. Baie lief vir jou. It's always good to see my wife in. So yeah. That was about it. Did I kill the discussion again?
Yep.
Yep. The guy wrote a book on dinosaurs, then 100 years later, the day he discovers a bone. Very weird stuff, Taylor. Spud, that's correct. Very weird.
Complete dinosaur fossils exist. Saying otherwise is just silly. I don't know about complete dinosaur fossils.
Yeah. Hey, Detect, good to see you, mate. Yep.
It's back to what, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's back to what you were saying, like, some dinosaurs were possibly had bones invented to make them look, I don't know, nastier or worse than what they were, but as far as like the Stegosaurus, there's old pottery and old statues being found of people riding them way before any bones were found, and I believe that there's full skeletons of Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hey, Adam Meekan, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming in.
Oh,
Yeah, mate.
You're right, Adam. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
Peter.
How's it going, Adam?
Cool. I was wondering, I was looking at the desktop and there was Element. I was wondering what it was on. So. Dinosaurs, get out of here. You mentioned the Bible. I think it says things like Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan,
Yeah.
Behemoth, Big B.
Behemoth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not terrible lizards.
No, but they weren't called terrible lizards, they were called dragons, weren't they?
Dragons, yeah.
Terrible lizard meaning dinosaur.
But I've had this argument with people before, Adam, and if you read scripture about Behemoth, it tells you that it's got a big long tail like the size of a giant cedar. And I've heard people say, oh, well, we're just talking about an elephant or a rhino, but they ain't got big long tails like a giant cedar.
Hi,
It doesn't
Jim.
really matter what the scripture there is describing, whether it's something we can recognise as a creature today, bigger or smaller than we experienced them, or whether it was a unique creature, that Leviathan, Behemoth, whatever. It's very different to trying to put millions of years on things,
Yeah.
portray evolution as if they are our ancestors. That's a big distinguishment between accepting that as dinosaurs. This was a complete different genealogical record. It has nothing to do with ours, or whether or not the Bible describes some big animals that may or may not be alive today.
I mean, I know when I did art, I had to once I had to literally go and create a dinosaur bone for a museum out of fiberglass and stuff. So yeah, just like Missing Research says, we have dinosaur bones in SA. Now they are millions of years old. I don't think so. We are giant creatures roaming the earth, certainly believe. Yep, exactly. And I can tell you a lot of the bones are just fakes. They're not actually what they call it. I mean, it's easy to take a elephant femur or something and say, oh, look, this was just some toe from a T-Rex or something, you understand? Just because it has the same layout.
Just like they make pictures of space and say, hey, this is what's out there.
Yeah, exactly the same. Hey, Cardo Apple, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. But yeah, It's very
Like space and dinosaurs are for kids.
even if they did have, even if they did have full skeletons, even if they did find full skeletons, the documentaries that it shows, and it shows us their skin and stuff like that, I still don't realize, even if it was a full skeleton, I don't know how they suss out what they look like, you know.
Or the sounds they make.
The exterior, yeah. I mean, it's changed through the years. It's changed from a green T-Rex to them actual having like maybe scales and now feathers. They're now related to birds. I mean, a whale in evolution is related to a pine tree. I mean, that's just ridiculous, you know.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to things like carbon dating and stuff, it's not as accurate as they make it out to be. So that's why they have to try and push it to 1,000 to billions of years. So they have.
I thought it was
Yeah.
I thought it was funny in the Jurassic Park movie where they found like one of the larynx bones of a like a velociraptor, and so he blew through it to try to recreate the noise that a velociraptor made. Well, they would have vocal cords. They wouldn't just be blowing air through a bone.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
So Adam, since you're here, what are your thoughts on evolution, though? Do you know well on the subject?
Could you define evolution?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What is your thoughts on evolution? What's your definition of evolution? I would ask.
He wants you to define it, I think.
Do you want me to define it? It's rubbish.
You've got macro and micro, ain't you? Like big changes and small changes. I believe in adaptation, the small changes, but not the macro evolution where we change from one species to the next, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, adaptation doesn't mean evolution. Adaptation is just simply built on the already created steps. I mean, if you already got the created genomes to work off of, and it's just mutating based on the environmental around it, it doesn't make it evolution. I mean, I like telling the people, okay, you guys are saying like dolphins and stuff evolved from cows. Which number of cows did they thrown into the water, stopped drowning, and became a dolphin?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you throw a cow in the water, they're all going to drown, correct? Now, when do they stop drowning and become a dolphin?
Yeah, and there must have been a bit in between where it could be on land and on water, where it could swim and breathe underwater and breathe on land. You know,
it's insane.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
It's stupid.
And that goes the opposite way too. Like where there's a drought formed, how many of the fish were just flapping around on the desert, and then they were like, I need legs, so let's go.
Yeah, it's insane. Just
I think you should. You mentioned adaptation there. Causation for adaptation is important.
Yeah.
One of the principles of evolution, in that sense, from nothingness, is its causation is randomness, which is why they require billions of years. I would look at adaptation and ask whether or not that's a faulty genome that supports a favourability in the environment, or whether or not it's already a genome that's activated as beneficial. That seems to be, from a genetics point of view, what's occurring. These things are already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Provided by the creator prior. Whether or not you're going to use them is irrelevant.
That's what I said. It's already there, set.
For a finch to be able to change its colour, the colour change was already encoded. It didn't require a random act, from a Darwinian point of view, for that colour to be there.
Exactly.
There weren't any bright pink finches ever on these islands. It wasn't random. The colour change was adapting with the equipment that you already had.
Exactly. That's the one thing the evolutionists don't get. They're trying to create something out of nothing, but there's already something there to start off with.
Already written in DNA, I would say.
Yeah. And a slip radar, I just have to say, hippos can drown too. Hippos don't stay
If you've
underwater.
ever seen the video of a camouflage octopus, those are awesome. Those are awesome creatures.
Yep. Tony Whitcomb says, is that Adam Meek?
Disguise themselves as like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Tony Whitcomb says, is that Adam Meekin? I said, yes, definitely it's Adam Meekin. Sorry, Lotion, go on.
Well, no, it's just, they like disguise themselves as different animals that they've come across in nature to get away from other animals they have come across in nature.
Yes, dolphins
That's
can
just
drown, Slip. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, dolphins can drown, but they hold their breath quite long. But now I'm saying, how long can a cow hold its breath for before it starts evolving into a dolphin?
Well, I guess like you say the same question about a human. How long do we have to be in the water until we start growing gills or something?
I mean,
You'll be an X-Men for that.
I mean, a lot of the thing they try and talk about is like abiogenesis for evolution, correct?
But why would something change from one thing to another, and them old things still be there?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Don't make sense.
I was saying to Flats the other day, like the apes must be our inbred cousins. That's why they didn't evolve. Because they're inbred.
Yeah.
If you look at this abiogenesis, even if you were to permit that through whatever probability the structure of amino acid peptides to form something as complex as DNA, I'll give you billions of years to allow it to happen. Just because it could then happen, who wrote the code to mean what DNA means? There's still knowledge. There's still an underwriting instruction here that means if you put these proteins in sequence, do this.
Exactly. I mean, they
there's still that lack of a knower and that recognition of DNA.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it has to have, it has to have a designer for it to recognize to actually have that morph. It won't be able to morph without having that already recognized pattern.
If I want a TGACD here to mean make insulin, whatever, yeah, who constructed that meant that? Who is the unifier of that code from one randomly developing clump of proteins to the next? There's an underlying code even in this abiogenesis. There's still that underlying knower, the hidden information that has to be constructed first. And for both parties, and this is the important bit, it's not just that you have to have the creator to write the code, but the creator has to make the material responsive and understanding of the code.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, has any, like Abiogenesis, have they even managed to come up with some sort of evidence for it, other than just taking a morphinic genome and saying, look, yeah, we can see this is mutating, so therefore abiogenesis. But that's not actually giving any theory other than just mutations. And the mutations is already coded in the stem. So, yeah, I don't see how evolution actually thinks they got an argument for anything, because as soon as you go back to the foundation of anything, there's no evidence whatsoever for it. There is definitely a sign of creation to it.
It's a
How long?
It's a violation of thermodynamics here. So none of these molecules will form in of themselves. So it goes back to that primordial soup. Whereas once you've got a life form, then fair enough, maybe you can move forward. But this formation of the primordial life form is nonsensical, because I'm just talking about proteins and amino acids. This requires an energy import for these things to happen. Now, the way in which the world we live in, it's life that puts these molecules together. Yeah?
Exactly.
Life, yeah. What they're suggesting is this input of this magic startup. The best explanation I've ever seen is Doctor Who's City of Death, Tom Baker, set in Paris, got an alien thing, ends up with the trick of the Doctor going back through time to explode his spaceship aboard a load of primordial soup, which provides the necessary, and even they're recognizing what a ridiculous amount of energy we're talking about. So this exploding time warp core explodes, providing enough energy to start life on a primordial soup Earth.
Yeah.
So that's the nonsense of what abiogenesis is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's postulating.
It's ridiculous. It's like insane to even bring it up as an argument for the evolution foundations. It's crazy. I mean, these are the same people that think the Big Bang is just because it's the Big Bang. When you ask them, okay, what started that dense speck to just explode out of nothing because it violates the first law of thermodynamics, they just say, we don't know, but it did. That's the answer.
I say, oh man, praise your religion, and you've got the right to believe whatever you wish to believe.
Exactly. Oh man.
This is a joke, but how long does a lonely straight man have to watch the news and watch the media until he feels he needs to grow a pair of tits?
Are you saying he's evolving? Well, the sad truth of the matter is, that's why you get, I think it's Gen Z now, what you were talking about earlier, they literally see that as evolving, to have a different gender, to be seen as a neutral kind of gender. They see that as evolution of the human race on a serious note, and that's actually very sad. It's actually a mental issue. But yeah.
And in their evolution, is there ever like an ultimate state where you don't change anymore? Do you know what I mean? Or do you just keep evolving? Are we going to be vampires the next, then after that we're going to be like feeders of vampires, and you know, it's crazy.
I mean, I can go and change my gender to a, how about, I like coffee, so I'm going to be called a coffee bean with some chocolate. I'm gonna change my gender to coffee bean with chocolate, and no one's going to have a problem with that, right?
That's a mockery, isn't it?
Right to the grinder, sir.
How you?
No, but I'm mocking, but it's a mockery.
Exactly. It's insane. I mean, I think there's like 100 listed different genders all of a sudden out there.
That's ridiculous.
And you come and say, okay, were you born with a penis or a vagina? That's it.
They're trying to separate sex and gender, aren't they? Like saying
exactly.
Sex and gender is two different things, and it's not.
It's crazy. It's just people that's got identity issues.
See, my identity is verified.
Yeah. Well, my identity is verified because I got children. Thank you very much.
That's it.
I mean, I was listening to an interesting discussion the other day where they were asking, okay, can a man bring forth a child? Simple as that. Can a man be impregnated?
Can't be done without a man.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, but I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm like, unless it's a movie. But they simply asked, can a man be impregnated to bring a child into the life? And the doctor was trying to say, instead of just answering yes or no, trying to say, it depends on what context. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad because the same people that's trying to push this nonsense knows it's rubbish.
Exactly.
Context meaning.
I think a lot of the people that are doing it knows it's rubbish too, but they're just going along with the society so that they, I don't know, benefit somehow.
I don't know. Yeah, Adam, you were saying? Sorry, Adam was trying to say something, yeah?
No, the context meaning there. If you listen to some of the Congress stuff in the States, Congress will, the context will mean it's biological woman who identifies as a man can now have that child. So a man's having, and this is, see, I remember working in the 80s and transgender, few and far between, but one or two people, one person, you know, was transitioning, and back then there was no reason for me to have to deny my reality. You as a good person accepted this person's got whatever issues, wherever you want to ascribe them, mental, physical, wrong, but whatever, it didn't really matter. They weren't like you, but you were a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you ask yourself, well, how would Jesus treat them? Would he lecture them? Would he whatever? No, it just be kind and be respectful, and that's kind of what he used to do. But and in that situation, there was no need for me to be questioned about my reality. That in some way I was incorrect in my reality. I was just being a nice person for somebody whose reality was clearly deserved support. Whatever, you know, or love.
Yeah.
But today we're in a world where, and this is my objection, and which is why I stand against this gender nonsense, is I'm being asked to either be called an idiot, a bad person, a Nazi, whatever, if I don't recognise these things, and if I don't bend my reality, I've got the problem. And that's where
wrong.
the issue is.
Yeah.
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 I'm not prepared to bend reality to conform to your sense of goodness, and it's that.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because they.
Quick.
Yeah, because they're trying to push us to conform to what they want to be classified as. If they want to be classified as that, what's it got to do with us? Why do we have to conform with it when it's clearly against reality? If you're a woman, you're a woman. If you're a man, you're a man. Just because you want to be
Orwellian,
yeah, it's
like, if you can get a man to say a man's not a man and a woman's not a woman, that's Orwellian control from the state. If you're prepared to do, this is what they do to Smith, you know, to get him to deny reality,
but
to
I mean,
demonstrate their control over him.
But I mean, like recently there was a case where a guy had raped 2 women, but he was going into transition to be gender change to a woman. So when he was convicted, he literally just changed his gender to become female, and they locked him up in a female prison after raping 2 women. Do you understand?
That's to bring down a Nicola Sturgeon. But
Yeah.
and it's that difference, right? So, and that's why it brought even Nicola Sturgeon down, because that reality denial wasn't allowed by the Scottish public. Okay, I mean, there's no way, just because he now identifies as a woman, he should be in raper's paradise or women's
Exactly.
prison. Okay, so and it's that's the point of mental break, where actually society says no, that is reasonable because the state says men are men and women are women until they identify as something else, and then we should treat them as that. And in total denial of every sense I have, every part of my being, I accept that. And that's what was good in Scotland, that actually public outrage was so much so that a person that couldn't define a woman, the First Minister, had to resign on that issue.
Yeah.
You know, that moral outrage.
Exactly. But it's insane. I mean, this is happening more and more, though. Hey, Shatner's Bassoon, good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming. And Paku McIver.
If I identify as a cat, do I have to continue to pay taxes?
That's a good point. That's actually a very good point. Do you? Because I think a cat is exempt from taxes.
But no, but
I don't put them as dependents when I get a job. Well, if I get a job, fuck that.
But yeah, no, I think society is really falling apart. But I mean, the Bible has said as in the days of Noah, and this is exactly what's happening. They're pushing for all this, and I mean, it's literally getting to that point where, breaking point, you can say, and I think it's time, guys. To be honest, I think it's really that time.
It's already happening. That's what Ukraine's about, isn't it?
Exactly. Slip Radar says, what do you call it when a man is born with a uterus? When a man is born with a uterus, it's not usually a functioning uterus, though, Slip Radar. You do get hermaphrodites and stuff, but that doesn't make them a fully male or fully female.
Yeah.
You do get hybrids.
And they're minorities. It's not like it's a majority of people. It's a minority. It's a birth defect, isn't it? It's not. You weren't meant to be born that way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to do with hormonal. I mean, a lot of the things people have literally had mutations, like we were talking about, based on the food they consume. What the mother and the father has been consuming with different creates mutations in their genes that creates that kind of morphing in the child.
Yeah, they might
Biological phenomenon.
well, but inside they're more one than the other, you know.
Yeah. Is it still him or her? I would say they decide when they get older, Slip Radar. If you're born with both genitalia, and let's say you're born with both and you have more female than male, then I would say you're more female. If you're born with more male than female, then you're more male.
Nah.
I don't know.
If someone's born with both, I want to see it.
I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so what makes us male and female? It's not necessarily what's... If I've got a bigger penis or a smaller penis than you, does that make me more male or less male?
Yeah, you.
So, external genitalia aren't necessarily
really.
the thing that defines. Well, if we get to the base, we're looking at our chromosomes.
Yeah.
We have a double X or double Y. And the hermaphrodites, you can have double X and XY. Sorry, not double Y, XY or double X. For hermaphrodites. And the external genitalia, that's a mix-up.
Yeah.
A misencoding of the external genitalia. But ultimately, suppose if you were going to ask them to define themselves, then you have to look chromosomally.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. But like I said, at the end of the day, they have to decide then. But I mean, that's in such a rare case, though. I mean, how much hermaphrodites do you get compared to now the people that are literally just deciding one day they want to just change their gender? I mean, does that change the fact they were born a male or born a female? No, that doesn't. They're just deciding to change their gender. Doesn't make them literally that gender.
No.
I mean,
But
I think there's a lot of, but the problem is a lot of mental issues to people that's gone the full transition. If you guys check with the statistics, how much of people have depression after they've gone full transition. It's actually quite sad because a lot, I think it's like works out to what 70% of them end up committing suicide or something because they regretted doing that.
Hermaphrodites, and that it doesn't usually take place in humans.
It's very rare. And I mean, usually when it comes to hermaphrodites, you don't really have a 50-50, how can I put it? You always have, like Adam was saying with the chromosomes, there's always one more than the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Tony
But I don't think there's any living ones.
Yeah, Tony Whitcomb, thank you very much. £20 super chat, thank you very much. He says, if any doctor tries to guess a gender, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, they need to be struck off, maybe with a lightning bolt. Thank you very much for the super chat, Tony Whitcomb. Really appreciate it, mate. Hey, Arwen, thank you for coming. But yeah, I think it is got to do with a mental issue. And it's just, I say, signs of the times. But
Well, they try to normalize outrageous things. And then many people, a lot of people start seeing these outrageous things becoming normalized. And then they're like, okay, well, I guess I could be that. I'm that. But really, that's confusion and yeah.
Well, I'm going, like I said, I'm going to identify as Dr. Flatzoid because Professor Dave's identifies as Professor Dave. So, yeah. And if you got a problem with it, that's your problem. Then you're just a bigoted Nazi. Okay, I'm a doctor, okay? Yes, Arwen, Adam is on the panel, mate. Is there any other subject we can rather discuss than this depressing mental problem?
No, I feel like turning into a lady.
Hi, Captain Caveman, good to see you. So, Adam, have you got any ideas what topic you would like to discuss?
Obviously, I've got one.
Yeah.
It's not really a topic. But just to shout out Chocolate Saying, I know it's been going this week, but if I could just maybe spam the chat, I'd like to raise that as a
Oh, definitely.
topic, and then I'll think of something more pertinent afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Put his link in as well so people can go.
Yeah.
Guys, please help Chocolate Saying as well because he does need the help, and it looks like it's growing up quite well, so that's quite cool.
Have you played the tune?
I did play it, but you know
Wait, last minute.
I had to mute it because they ended up. I started getting copyright strikes for it.
Funny.
I don't know why.
I got a no real copyright strike. Somebody thinks it's theirs.
Yeah, from a
Carry
Kim.
on.
I kept on
They're
getting.
not claiming anything. Carry on using it. I've obviously challenged that because I've put it out before without the appeal thing on. And challenged it first time and won. So they lost the copyright strike.
Yeah. I keep on getting it. It's from a, like they're saying it's the music belongs to a Kim or something.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
The response is to say it's not that original track, it's a parody, and the lyrics have been changed to original content. And I also point out that it's not the track we're using, it's a karaoke track.
Yeah.
Not, and they then lose. You just take them to court. It's dead easy, and then 30 days later, even if you've got any, cash on it, revenue from it.
It's not a human giving you the strike, though. It's a computer running through a whole bunch of information, thinking that you may have a strike.
It's worse than that. It's somebody with a computer botting, listening to your channel, thinking I can make some money off this by claiming the rights. It's unlikely that it's even the producer KIM, probably some bloke in Malaysia, that because KIM won't claim it, but it doesn't mean it's not claimable from YouTube. And if you don't challenge it, then that guy then gets it all. So it's probably not even, like I say, the original artist or the production. It's just some bot somewhere that mines this kind of crap. And most of the time, people don't do it. And if all you make is 0.0001p, who cares, right?
Yeah.
If you've got thousands of bots doing that, then actually you can make a living from it, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a copyright claim, Arwen, so not a strike, actually. Yeah.
Lumpy wants to be identified as Sir Dr. Professor Honourable Reverend Lumpy. Right? It's a long one, Lumpy, but I'll remember that.
Right, she says.
Oh, you know what? I do want to say something to everybody, too. When you pray, don't pray for money. Don't ask God for money. Don't do that. That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
I've run across a lot of people lately that, they constantly pray to God to give them wealth, to give them money, right? God doesn't have money. So stop asking God for money.
Ask God for wisdom that when the money does come to you, what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go. Because it's a different thing to get money and to actually use it wisely. How much people have you seen that win the lottery and they end up on the streets because they lost it all?
It's insane.
Uh-huh.
It's absolutely insane. I know somebody in my high school that won $365 million. Great, Well, that person's broke as anybody else now.
Exactly. It's crazy. And it's usually those people that win the lottery are the ones that spend it on crazy, stupid shit. They don't take it and invest it into something to make sure they're always going to have an income. They just take it and buy stupid stuff and buy for their friends and family everything. And then when their money's finished, then they want nothing to know about them anymore. It's crazy.
Kind of like people in the music industry. They're given an X amount of money. They buy their mom and dad a house. They buy cars. They buy their jewelry. And then comes to find out they're in debt to the jewelers somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
But how's the Fed in America starting to make a digital currency now that they want to roll out in 5 years, that it's going to be the new currency for America?
I don't see that possible.
They say in 5 years it should be rolled out as the main currency for America because of the banks closing down now, because of the rollout with the markets crashing and stuff. So that's quite interesting. So people believe it's
there's more people that don't want it than do.
People believe it's the start of the one world currency.
If I ever have money, even if I have a job and they're paying me with a check, I never do direct deposit because I like holding it for at least the time that I get to have it before I throw it away at bills and whatever. I like that tangible access. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just want to say, Howtech Industries, he says, if I won the lottery, I'd buy a fighter jet. Like an F-35 or something awesome. But you see, the problem with that notion is that if the Feds do run up with their digital currency, your money that you have as physical would only be able to be used if you do go and trade it in at the Fed to be put in your bank. And you're probably going to need a chip verification or ID to be able to use it. Just like the Bible says, you would need the mark.
Hence my name.
Yeah, you would need the mark to barter or buy.
Yeah.
So
that's all it is now, identity verification.
Yep. So it comes up to, are you going to choose to starve to death, or are you going to take the mark?
See, a lot of places don't even have the capabilities of transferring that kind of data through the internet, through the computers.
Yeah.
Many years ago, before I was a flat earther, the same question was posed. I would suggest holding solid physical metals. So if you can afford gold, you don't need much of that to hide. You can easily hide it. Or silver. And holding not a stupid amount, not like your life savings, but enough that you actually have something to trade. Because if shit happens, banknotes ain't worth out.
No.
Crypto might be worth out if the internet still works, but I would suggest silver and gold still have a
barter to it.
Value.
Yeah, it's got a barter to it for now.
Yeah.
What's hilarious about gold is that some people put millions and millions of dollars into gold, and then they have, hundreds of pounds of gold. And it's like, well, if shit hits the fan and you need to run with your go bag, you are not carrying 100 pounds of gold.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're just gonna have a backpack full of metal.
But I mean,
where's the food? Where's what you need?
But I mean, what's it going to happen when people start getting to where you need to barter for food, because you're not going to be able to use currency? So it's like, I'm going to have to say, okay, I'll give you a goat for a fish, kind of thing, for 4 fish.
Yeah.
Just like the old days.
Yeah.
Adam, Better Than Gold says you're quite low. He can't hear you. And you're fooled by me though.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect.
Yeah, I think it must be something from the element going through OBS or something, because everybody sounds fine in element.
Yeah, everyone sounds fine for me, but they're saying Michael and Adam is quite soft.
I'm just using my laptop microphone. It's up full wide. There's no second adjust.
Just hold that screen right up to your head, you know.
I'm nearly laid on it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think it's actually very important.
I think gold is kind of I don't know.
But
I mean, if you have a little bit, fine. But if people are having companies hold their gold for them, you think if the world collapses, what, they're going to send it through the mail to you?
No, that's not what I said. I said to hold physically hold it, not have it in a vault on somebody's bequest, you know, on your behalf, but to physically hold it. That I think is a sensible, like sticking a load of pasta away, and so just be one of those basic staples I would put away. Silver particularly. Gold's pretty, but silver has inherent health values to it in times of need. So silver is very useful, as well as having lower value, more divisible. I would say just if you've got $100 worth of pasta stuck away, I'd probably have $500 worth of silver.
Exactly.
I think copper would actually probably be more valuable, because copper you can string out into wire a lot easier. And if you find a battery, well, now you've got power. You're not gonna make power with your gold coin.
Oh, it's pretty negative when you're looking at those sorts of levels, but it's not to say you shouldn't maybe cater for it.
Yeah.
Depends where you are in the world. Like the zombie apocalypse in the UK is too small a place. It doesn't matter whether you've got silver or whatever. You need a gun.
But
we're not allowed.
But you're gonna need your silver to make those bullets to shoot Count Dracula.
It's not werewolves, dude. It's not werewolves.
Wolves, yeah. But yeah, are they doing the same by you, that they're trying to get rid of weapons?
I've been making silver ball bearings for my catapult.
my go bag.
I mean, even
with my bulletproof vest and shit. Together, everything that I carry with me, if the world did go to shit, weighs about 95 pounds. I work out with this stuff on, so that I can carry it. There's a lot of people that put go bags together, that put all their ammo together in a bag, but they've never actually carried it anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, even here in South Africa, they literally are saying, Adam, you're saying in the UK, they're also being ridiculous when it comes to guns. I mean, they're making it to get gun licenses very ridiculous now. It's becoming more and more difficult.
UK, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, no, historically, so people in the States, I would assume in South Africa as well, you're allowed to own a gun.
Yeah, but it's difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah, and it'd be yours. Well, guns are always the property of the crown in the UK.
Yep.
Unless you're a farmer on the land, for a shotgun or something, then the ability to have a gun is very restricted and licensed.
Yeah. Same.
That was then, you look at false flags. I think it was Hungerford in the UK where you get mental people go around shooting children, which means we need tighter gun laws, even tighter than the UK had then.
Yeah.
So then, and then Tony Martin, there's another one. All kind of like events that mean you get, problem, reaction, solution type things. So there's no, unless you were a criminal, you've got no way of getting hold of a gun in the UK. If you're a criminal, there's loads of guns. I'm from Nottingham, used to be called Shottingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
The
too
prob-
far from you. I'm in Coventry.
Yeah, but
Not too
even
far.
here in South Africa, most of the times when you see a crime committed, the guns are usually police issued weapons or confiscated weapons from civilians that are used by the criminals. You understand? It's crazy.
Like most gun owners, most firearm owners in America, we're all pretty responsible with our shit. It's not like there's thousands of people going around and, you know, threatening people with guns. You get the lunatic that broke into 3 houses looking for a firearm, magically found one, and then went about its business.
Crazy.
Like,
I know.
it's kind of hard to get one, but I mean, I'm a class 3 firearms holder, license holder. It's very easy to get, very easy here.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I can
I'm
get
not-
it.
I'm
I
not
can just
sure.
go into any store, throw my license down, and they're like, "Here you go."
Yeah.
But I was also in law enforcement for 3.5 years.
Okay. Yeah, Adam.
On that point, if I got hold of a gun in the UK, I could run down anywhere, down a shopping centre, yeah, and no one would be able to shoot me because no one else would have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not dare to do that in America. Yeah?
I agree.
There's a quid pro quo. There's a kind of fine balance. The question you have to look at is, yes, in an ideal world, we wouldn't need guns, but we don't live in an ideal world.
Mm-hmm.
And so that balances out. So who's the only other entity that has a kind of a hand in this game? And that would be the state. And you look at places like the UK and America, and I think South Africa is probably in the middle.
Yeah, we're in the middle because
Yeah.
even
But
by me,
what
with
are they
the
scared of? They're scared that the people have the ability to rise against the state.
yeah, exactly.
When the guns go, I say, I don't see a difference. If everybody's armed or everybody's unarmed, mental people are everywhere. Guns will still exist.
Uh-huh.
Lunatics will still exist. The only benefit, I don't see a benefit for the individual with or without, but certainly for the state, if the citizens are unarmed, they're a
Much
lot
easier.
easier to control.
Exactly. Hey, Terrell, good to see you. And M Stone. Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least here where I am in the bush and stuff, actually like 70% walk around with firearms because, I mean, it's bush territory. I've got a lot of farmers and stuff. So obviously they're walking around with a pistol or whatever, you know. But like I said, when it comes to getting the licensing, it's getting harder and harder every day. I mean, I wanted to get my dad's Browning when he died, and it was just too much of a mission that I ended up saying, I'm not going to take it. Because it would have just been too much of a hassle to get different licenses for that Browning to own. So,
See, but if you have that right, you should go through those steps because there may be a time you need it.
yeah, but I mean, I can get myself a crossbow or a gas pistol, and then I don't need a license.
True. Crossbows are funny to me because people don't realize how hard they are to load.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my friends, man, we all have crossbows, we all got, and some of them are like, hey, can you cock this for me? They're like, yo, if a zombie in quotes comes at you, you're fucked. Even if you have a crossbow, you can't even load the sucker.
Yeah, you got a certain way you
And
have
let
to load
alone
it. If you don't know how
Oh,
to
yeah,
load
you-
it, you're going to hit yourself bottom blue before you even get a shot.
It's hilarious. And a lot of people, they buy firearms that they can't handle, right? Like with the amount of power that one has, the amount of recoil one has, and the loudness. The people, when they shoot a gun, they naturally get scared. Like, it is loud. And a lot of people don't understand that because they've never bought, like, they go out and they buy a 45 and then they shoot it once at a range, and then they're like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. It's too loud. Well, what are you talking about? Put some ear protect. I mean, granted, in the time and event, you're not gonna just have your earphones ready to go, but you gotta become, it's an acquired skill almost that you're able to cope with that kind of, I guess, loudness, and a lot of people don't see that, because if they're like, oh yeah, and then I see a lot of people at the range, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and it's crazy, but that's why it's an acquired skill. You got to be comfortable. It's a comfort level.
Yeah, but I mean, look how let's say like the media and stuff, how they're trying to take everything that's got to do with shooting away. I mean, on my TikTok account, I had Michael and PJ saw the video of my daughter and son shooting the .22 rifle, and they shot quite accurate. I had to take it down because it was saying I was inciting violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they were shooting a target.
That's ridiculous. Is that depending on what country you're in?
No, that's just the rules for media. I mean, even on YouTube, there's a lot of YouTube creators. They're actually quite censored based on shooting. Because they
you gotta say educational. If you don't say it's for educational purposes, if it's for defense purposes, training, if you don't say that, then they just assume, oh, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a South African channel that I love watching, Impact Shooting, and the guy is really having trouble getting his content pushed, or gets blocked, or gets flagged for if he just shoots and assembles a weapon and starts shooting it, he gets claims of inciting violence. You know what I mean? Just because it's a gun channel. And this is the kind of thing, because that's what I'm saying. The media is literally trying to make everybody pansies. Like, if you own a gun, you're a evil, sadistic murderer trying to kill everybody, and that's not the truth.
Crazy. I mean, I've got a lifetime firearms ban, but that's because I did a 3-year sentence when I was in my early 20s. When I was 20 till I was 22, did a 3-year sentence. And when you go out, you have to sign the firearms ban. Because I did a 3-year sentence, it was lifetime. If it was any less than 3 years, it would have just been 5 years. But because it was a 3-year no bar, it's a lifetime ban for some reason.
Yep.
Even though the charge is nothing to do with firearms.
But I mean, let's take it this way. If you're a criminal and you're going to kill someone, are you going to worry about a licensed firearm?
No, of course you're not.
Yeah.
Of course you're not.
I made a video when I first got my one of my first shotguns, because it has a magazine, and it's really cool. But so I made a video where the Amazon Echo, I found an Amazon Echo in my parents' house, like that ball thing. So when they were gone, I took that Echo out of their house, went and plugged it in on the shooting, in a field, basically. And I said, hey, Alexa, what's this noise? As I cocked the shotgun for the first time. And then as it said, I don't know, or whatever it said, I just blasted it away.
Yeah.
The only reason I took it down is because fucking, YouTube throttles a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Throttle.
This makes me think, would you guys want to talk about what is morality and the grounds for morality? Because I think it's quite an interesting subject to have. Because,
Definitely.
I mean, do you think an atheist has any moral grounds?
Because if they do, technically they wouldn't be atheists.
I believe morality comes from God. I mean, a lot of people think it's learned. You learn it. I mean, to a certain extent, I think you do, obviously, from parents and stuff like that. But I think it's inherent from God.
Yeah, because I mean, the atheists always fight for, they believe in something's good, but what gives them that morality judgment that it's good? I mean, for one person, that same thing could just be seen as evil, and that person is good. I mean,
Right.
think about it. Some atheist just goes and kills someone. So, but to me, it's fine. So, what makes it now morally wrong for another atheist? Adam, you wanted to say something?
And morals for atheism are a different thing. But I would say that any atheist, I'd support them in having their own religious opinion.
Yeah. So, do morals just come at the end of the day on a person's opinion then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, supporting them to hold their own religious opinion is one thing. Off you go, be atheist. It's fine. You can't prove that.
Yeah.
So it's religion. As to asking them the question, then where do your morals come from? That's a quandary for any atheist, isn't it? If you fundamentally believe you're from nothing, then what is this gut reaction to things? It's not all attributable to kind of evolutionary process, is it?
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've heard of David Wood. Dr. David Wood. He's a Christian apologetic. He usually debates against Muslims and stuff. But anyway, his testimony. He used to be a atheist when he grew up, and he ended up beating his dad to a pulp with a crowbar. And he went to jail, obviously, and all that. And then in jail, he found Jesus. And he said, literally, he believed it was morally okay to just beat and kill someone just because he didn't like that person. Because, I mean, he was brought up, you don't have a purpose in life. You're just some chance. You just came from nothing. You're just, just by chance there. So why would it matter if he had to just kill you because he doesn't like you? Which I would agree with. I mean, what gives you a moral stand ground to say, okay, that person has a purpose, it's okay just to think, okay, I want to be good about them. But I mean, that doesn't make it morally okay if you say, okay, I think I'm going to be a good person because I want to be good. That doesn't make it morally good morals. That's just you have an opinion what you think morals is. But what's your foundation based on to make it a good moral?
That's the point. Right. That's an extreme situation where he's claiming that claim that it doesn't matter, you take what you want. That's not necessarily the case, is it? Because how many people did he murder? Not many, just the one that's done something very, very bad. It's not an abandonment of morals. When he wanted something from the shops that he couldn't afford, he didn't go in and beat the living shit out of someone and just take it, did he?
Yeah.
Because he has a moral structure. Now, where was that from? And that's the point. It's not from the society that he's just besmirched. He's not got no respect for that. He's just said that, but he still respects people enough in the shop to not go and mug them and take these things.
Yeah.
He may use that as an excuse after years of abuse, probably, to do what he did. But that's an appeasement of the morals that you've already recognised. Why I broke the morals, not I don't have any.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think the argument he's trying to put forward is, what gives you the foundation for your morals if you don't have that bar of setting the morals? Like if you believe in a God, you have a set of morals. You have someone who gives you the morals to be able to set. So when you have an atheist, you don't have someone to give you that morals because you're a self-worshipper. You don't have any how can I put it? You don't have any right to say this is good or this is evil, because at the end of the day, it's just your opinion. Because to the guy next to you, what's good to him is not good to you. So what gives you the moral ground to say it's morally fine?
Of course, because I mean, you look at a sociopath, they've got like a warped sense of morality compared to us. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
so,
and David Wood was classified as a sociopath.
yeah.
Exactly.
Mm.
That's why I said it's actually very interesting when it comes to the morality. Then what is morality actually? Because because obviously the atheist would go and claim, I was a good person, so I had morality. But what are you basing that morality on? What's the foundation of it?
What is good and what is bad, you know, it's,
Yeah.
No. So again, I'd look at the sociopath and say that's appeasement of the morals that he knows he's already breaking. They don't do it all the time. It's not like that moral doesn't apply to them in normal life. They find an excuse to break it. There's a reason. Whether that's their own gratification or to get out of a situation, it doesn't really matter. But there's still the recognition that that moral is being broken. Otherwise it wouldn't apply. That's when you call, when you've got people like that, that's when you call them mental people, where these rules don't apply. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's extreme.
I've been in a situation where somebody was basically instigating. I basically handed their ass to them, but what they didn't even know is that I always carry. Didn't have to take it out, just assess the situation, did what was need to be done, didn't even need to use it. But it was there. Nobody knew.
Yeah,
It could have gone really, really, really bad.
Yeah, sorry.
But most responsible owners, they degrade, or they what's the other one? What's the other?
Yeah, but I mean, let's put it like this: you get tribes that have cannibalism. They brought up with cannibalism is okay. Is that morally acceptable to people to kill people and eat them? But to that tribe, it's morally acceptable, but to someone else, it's not going to be. So where do you draw the foundation of that moral?
But either it is or it isn't.
Life or death?
You've got alive. So you're on the mountaintop and there's all those dead frozen bodies. Do you eat them to survive?
Oh yeah, that's context, yeah.
Then it's not necessarily the consumption of the flesh, is it? It's how the flesh, if you're farming human beings, that might be something that's objectionable if in times of need, even in the Bible it talks about drinking your own piss. They were so desperate during a siege, they drank their own piss. It's an analogy. It doesn't morally castigate those that drank the piss. It just makes a statement that they were so desperate they had to drink their own piss. You know?
Yeah.
Motivation, causation behind acting is more important, I would suggest, spiritually, than whether or not eating for cannibalism per se is morally incorrect. Because this is the point. Morals, you can always find an excuse. Well, no. In a lot of cases, if it's a moral thing, you can find a justification.
Yeah.
Like cannibalism, for example.
That's actually very well said. Definitely, just like Owen said, very well said. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to discuss because it can go both ways, definitely.
I'm not suggesting human meat at the next the next bride.
Barbie.
But, yeah, Barbie. I had my first Barbie of the year this evening, Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So we cooked it. It was sunny and it was dry, so we cooked it outdoors. Yeah,
oh, nice.
The first one. Pre-Easter, I think that's my earliest Barbie in the UK ever.
Wow. But it's still cold there by you guys at the moment, correct?
Yeah. What 8 degrees at the moment.
Oh, I wish I could go 8 degrees. Oh. Hey, Peaceful Warrior, good to see you. I wonder what the temperature is now because I'm sweating like a pig here.
We've had, this is our 6th winter now. It gets warm, like we've had a couple 50-degree days, and then the next day, it's 17. And then the next day, it's 40. And then the next day, it's 12. It's like, and this is Fahrenheit.
I mean, we're sitting at 26 degrees at the moment. and it's now 11 o'clock at night. It's crazy.
Like 26 Celsius?
Yeah, Celsius.
Okay.
Woo! No,
That's like
damn
what?
much.
60, 50 degrees? 60?
Fahrenheit?
Even higher?
I don't know. Actually, I don't work in Fahrenheit. In Fahrenheit, it would be 78.8.
That's nice.
No, that's hot. Oh, but that's fine because usually in the day we're sitting about 35 to 40. So it's better than the day. But I mean, at 11 at night, you don't want that. And it's 48% humidity. It's good to see you, Peaceful Warrior.
Is Chuck in chat?
Sorry, who?
Did anybody, this is just a different, sidebar topic. Did anybody see Chuck Middleton's recent video?
Which one? He brings out quite a lot.
Explaining the Jews and the Gentiles.
Oh, that one. I haven't watched
They
that one
really
yet. I
are.
think it came out today. Or was it yesterday?
Oh, I've just been awake for a really long time then.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet. But Chuck Middleton's got an awesome channel. Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, if you guys watch it, we should talk about that sometime.
We can probably. Peaceful Warrior, £5 super chat. Thank you very, very much. Choose the green screen. I show you how far the rabbit hole goes. Thank you very much for your support. He's really helping out with the green screen fund. Thank you very, very much, mate. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the people are tired of my T-jump attire at the back of this couch thing.
T-jump, yeah. He's always stuck to an armchair, isn't he?
Yeah. But at least I can say my couch is nicer than his.
Yeah, and you're a nicer person.
I still think
stream the ISS footage on the green screen.
But
It's not so much the couch, but the quality of the man that sits in it that matters.
Yep, definitely.
You see what Sean said? Flatsoid avoids the corners of his house because 90 degrees is too hot for him. Oh, Sean, you're so funny, man.
I'm glad you understand 90 degrees requires flat surfaces.
You know?
Yeah. But I should actually go and debate T-jump sometime.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. The only problem
he gets a bit biscuit arse when he gets beat though.
Is T-jump that guy who pulls out faces?
Yeah, he's got a huge ego problem. That's the only thing I don't like about him. He's got that demeanor.
Really like, he just says, "Oh, you deny space, like there's nothing."
He just keeps asking the mods to shut you up. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He just says, "Mod, can you shut him up? Can you shut him up? Can you shut him up?" You know what I mean? And he'll beg them to as well.
Yeah, but he's got a very demeaning kind of way of talking to a person, like he's better than you.
Definitely.
That's the only thing I don't like about him. But other than that, yeah, I think it'll be an interesting discussion because he thinks he knows a lot, but yeah.
I'll actually tell you something. So I bought some land recently, about 7 acres, and not anytime soon because it's cold and this summer I have a lot of things to do, but in the next 2 years I'm going to start building a giant pyramid on it.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Are you going to make it align with the North Star?
Yeah, I can see it there.
And then we can say after 1,000 years the North Star is still aligned with it, so therefore no rotation of Earth.
Yeah, my kids that don't exist yet, they're gonna forego that.
I mean, like we got here the Voortrekker Monument. So what happens when it's one time in the year, I think it's with the equinox, that the sun lines up perfectly and it goes through a hole to line up perfectly with a tombstone in the middle. Which is really interesting because if the Earth was rotating, and I mean the Voortrekker Monument's been around for hundreds of years, why do we always have it lining up? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can maybe pick it up here.
After all these years of expansion and that, and it's still there lining up.
Some say
16th of this. Okay, there we go. 16th of December. Red granite cathedral. An opening in the dome has been astronomically aligned so that at noon on the 16th of December, the day of the covenant, the rays of the sun land upon the cenotaph, lighting up the words "Ons vir jou South Africa," which means us. We are for you, South Africa. So that's on the 16th of December. See this thing. It lines up every year, the 16th of December, that it lights up. How does that work with a ever-rotating and moving through space nonsense ball? You can't have that.
There might be more structures that do things like that too. I'm not sure. I don't know offhand of what they are, but that's super cool.
And it's a lot of stairs, by the way, for the Fertile Monument. I remember my mom took me when I was a baby. And I was like, cried. It's quite a big building. Quite a big monument. There we go. Ons vir jou South Africa.
Looks huge.
Just do it. Stonehenge,
Yeah, but Stonehenge is, I mean, or the guide
What's
stones.
interesting on your cenotaph there, is that's a globe world thing. Yet they bothered to align it knowing that it wouldn't continue to align in their model.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense, but that's usually the problem with heliocentrists, though. They don't look further. They take the symbolism like it aligns, but they don't think further. Oh, what happens one day when it doesn't align anymore?
Yeah.
Just like the Georgia Guidestones that obviously it was recently destroyed. Polaris was the whole time lined up. How is that possible? And then what's their story? No, it's thousands of years before you would see the change. Yeah, cool story, bro. How are you going to do that?
People were trying to tell me that the Guidestones were made in like the 1600s and
What?
yeah, people were saying that. Oh yeah, the Guidestones they were put up in like the 16 or 1700s, and it's like the 1980s.
Yeah, they actually have photos of like Stonehenge where they got the people, and they said no, but they're just renovating it. It's like, okay.
The things that what was written on them? There was some cool stuff written on them, but it sounded like a bunch of hippies talking, like what was written.
They were renovating. The standards. There's a good. I'm not sure. It's Conspiracies Horrors or somebody that's done a really good video on it. Because there's a lot of stuff that attacks Stonehenge and shows those 1950s pictures with diggers and
Oh yeah.
so on and so forth. You see a lot of the stones have got like concrete blocks running through them now. But this video shows you the stones, the state of them. There were kids sitting in them. They're so big, the wells in the stones. These stones are so kids could sit in the area now that's been filled in with cement to make sure they don't collapse, but they stay there. Stonehenge stones, the main trialists, are still in the main positions. There's hundreds of years of renovation done to it, and the standards, you can't move a stone unless it's been noted previously to have been in a previous position. The only way you can, there you go. So the only way you can put that up there is if there's previous logging of that stone being put up there, and previous datings of it being present there.
Yeah.
As for the rest, you have to keep things, which is why it's still a little scattered. They're not all picked up and put on. But they're the main ones, which is the most recent in history, which is the renovations there. But fundamentally, those solstice stones, I forget whether there's a stone on top of them or not, still align to the summer solstice and the winter solstice.
Yeah, I think they do. They're supposed to align.
Whether it's 200 years old or 4,000 years old, it doesn't really matter. That thing should be moving.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Yeah, that's what I say. It's weird. I mean, that's why when they come and they tell us, okay, like Polaris, it takes thousands of years to change. But where's the so-called actual documentation of this? I mean, all the documentation we get is based on things written a few hundred years ago on religious bigots. I mean, like Aristophanes, give us the actual evidence he ever existed. There's no documentation the person ever existed. There's no documentation of his works or anything. The so-called documentation that he ever existed burnt down in the Alexandria Library burn. So how did they get all the information to us 2,000 years later?
That's assuming the library at Alexandria
even existed. Yeah, exactly. And that's assuming that.
Mm-hmm. I think some of that was probably written in hieroglyphics, way, way back. And then they transcribed it to paper or whatever they were writing on.
Yeah, but there's no documentation whatsoever Aristophanes ever existed or any of his works.
Right.
It's stuff like
that. Late citation, I think it's 300 years after his existence. This citation from him, and then that's a scribe citation. You know what I mean? So, no, there's nothing. But all of
have you guys ever actually read the things that, or the 10 things that were written on
sorry, Lotion, I don't know if you can hear my Adam is busy talking still.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I can't.
Right. I have a propensity to pause. Excuse me.
It's because Lotion's in Discord.
Yeah, it's got. I know it's got some kind of weird delay in Discord, and Lotion, you must definitely come over to Element, mate. You must definitely. It's much better, I must say. Face Reality, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. He says Aristophanes existed in the maths. They needed him to exist in the maths because their so-called radius comes from it. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Face Reality, thank you very much. Yeah, Adam, you were saying?
Well, yeah, just to add to that, you're talking there those timelines, but realistically, look, we're looking at the oldest documents we have are 1100. Most of these are documents that are transcribed that we trust the transcription, that there was no need to ever forge anything. So at latest we're looking at 1500s is the kind of reality of the timescale of the validity of the documents. So it would be very easy, wouldn't it? It's called textual consistency or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in history, very different standards to science. You can get a cross-reference between two people. And it's kind of assumed that must mean that it is fact in history. Whatever you think of the person must exist because two independent people have mentioned him independently of it.
Yeah.
This is kind of what you rely on to construct history. Like I say, most of the documentation is, like with Eratosthenes, that kind of ascribed information from antiquity, not the actual text from antiquity.
Yeah. Exactly. So it just comes.
There was.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, they were trying to control people's thoughts and back then as well, though. So they were coming up with documents, like say they were coming up with writings, scrolls and stuff that they could have easily said, oh, well, this is from X year and this is how we do it now. And eventually, as many people as you got to believe you that that's how it was, or when it was written, those people would end up, going along with, their narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Lumpy Gas and Vacuum, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. Really appreciate it, mate. He says, thanks for the time you spent to teach. We all learn together, mate. Thank you for all the support. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
That's weird because I just seen Sean say a few comments ago that you don't educate yourself. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Our opinions vary.
But Sean's just a cheap projection artist, that's all.
Sean's the last person I would take seriously, ever. Sean, if you can prove to us, actually send me some documentation of Aristophanes ever existing, would be great. Thanks. Just like I've been asking. Just like I've been asking for years now show me the scientific hypothesis that Newton proposed for his gravity. There's no documentation of it. There's never been any experiment for it. And yet, once he said he didn't want to even ascribe to him, and yet once he died, then you had CV Boys which ascribed it to him, and it was peer-reviewed without any experimentation. Then came along Cavendish to try and measure Earth's density, and somehow that is now called gravity, and the experiment to prove Newton's gravity, which was then debunked and superseded with Einstein's gravity. So, are they saying science is not actually science then? Because there's a lot of things very wrong with that. And we've literally shown the Cavendish not an experiment, which is a demonstration of torque due to the density of the weights. It's just torque. That's it. Even the data taken of the Cavendish is based on oscillations from torsion twist due to torque. So it's not gravity, it's torque. Thank you.
And that goes with the same thing I was saying, was that there were smart people and there were other people. And it came to a point where the other people were asking so many questions that they were like, you know what, this is how it is, stop asking questions.
Yeah.
And then started learning more when when people actually started listening to the questions, or even doing research for themselves, proving such and such wrong. And that's happened over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Owen says, how can a historian write about a person before the person was born? Was he a prophet? Good point.
Yeah, because I see Alvin wrote earlier that someone wrote about Eratosthenes before he was actually born. Wrote about the work on that before he was actually born, 30 years before he was born. So that doesn't stand up, does it? You know what I mean?
Nope. It's exactly that. Woo.
And just to go back with those guide stones, have any of you actually read the 10 principles on them?
Oh yeah, it's sad. Hey Guns and Arrow, good to see you. How about the population? That's where Agenda 2030 comes from. Population decreasing.
Yeah, I want to say that's 500 million people in the United States, though, not in the rest of the world. Because there's been billions of people for a long time, and nature has continually gone on,
Yep.
And if you had right now there's 300 million people in the United States or so, and if there were 500 million, these cities would be crowded as hell. These major cities would be crowded, just like how Tokyo and what's the other one over there? Seoul, Korea.
Yeah,
if you've ever been there,
yeah,
there's a lot of people there too.
But even if you take it, you do know if they placed everybody hand in hand we wouldn't even take up 1% of Earth's surface with everybody on Earth.
Right.
So this overpopulation issue that they're coming up with is actually just bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no
it's
such thing.
complete bullshit.
Yeah,
there's
no
miles and miles and miles in the United States where there's nobody. There's nobody.
And there's definitely no way of knowing how much people there are. Exactly, Lumpy.
Supposed to say them guys don't troll people.
But I think the Guidestone, I mean, it's basically common sense. Most of it, it says guide, if I could just go through a couple that are just, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Love everybody. Hey, if you're not in a place that you can have children, don't have children. If you're not responsible, don't have children. Right?
Yeah,
Unite humanity with a living new language. Unite them all with love.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
right?
it's like it says, like it says, maintain humanity under 500 million. In perfect potential balance with nature. I mean, these are tree huggers, guys.
Yeah.
Because remember,
Well, exactly. But like, if you get rid of the first one, because that's ridiculous. 500 million people in the world, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this guide. But look at this guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Why do you think they have abortion rates so high today? Why do you think so much people are being pushed to be euthanized? You're being sterilized and stuff. It's because of this. They're following these guidelines, and these guidelines are based on a satanistic Jesuit principle.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I mean, guide reproduction wisely. It's just be smart about having children. Just be smart about it.
Why? God said, "Go out, be fruitful, and multiply."
Multiply, yeah.
Why?
If you don't have the means to care for a child, if you're a meth head, if you're a crackhead,
yeah, but think about it.
You probably should not have kids.
Yeah, but you think about it. That was introduced to people. If there was no such thing as bringing money into society and giving people addictions, they wouldn't have to worry. Remember the old days, you could have 20 children and didn't worry about it because you were tilling the land with your children. You guys were surviving off yourself. Today, no one even knows how to create a fire on their own. If they don't have,
it's as so there being not enough room on in the world for us. If death didn't come until the fall, obviously we were meant to keep filling this place, because we weren't meant to die,
Exactly.
So there's got to be room.
Right. But that goes back to being smart about it. Like, if you don't know how to create fire from nothing, right, you probably shouldn't have kids.
Yeah, but that's how you brought up today. I mean, hence Gen Z, the same people that start crying if they put their sock on the wrong way. You know what I mean? It's like it's like crazy. The people, this whole guidelines that they put you looks to be with good intentions, but the foundation is based on evil intentions, trying to control population. It's literally they're seeing people because these guides are seeing people as a cancer towards Mother Earth.
I mean, in a sense, we're kind of viruses with shoes.
But I'm saying that's what the guidestones are seeing as. Like, you are just here to be a cancer to Earth, and Mother Earth should be placed before you. So in other words, if you are going to have global warming not as an issue, we should kill you. You know what I mean? That's what it's literally teaching you. You should roll.
It's anti-Christian in
exactly.
the sense that the Bible, well, they're teaching that we should look after Mother Earth, that we are here for Mother Earth. That the truth is the Earth is here for us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The only reason why people destroy it, though,
recognize the order of things.
Yeah, reconcile the order, exactly. Yeah, go on, Leshan.
Well, see just the humanity one gives everybody the wrong. It's interpreted to most people as 500 million on Earth, right? But unite humanity with a living new language. Let's just call that love. Okay? If you love somebody, you love somebody. A lot of people, they don't have that. Okay? And then you get, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Get rid of the bureaucracy. That's common sense.
How are you going to do that?
Can I just mention something? Last time, all world were speaking one language. They wanted to war with God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tower of Babel, ring a bell?
Yeah.
And how do you seek harmony with the infinite?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Seeking harmony with the infinite.
Huh.
Be not a cancer.
Find God.
Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature.
Don't destroy the earth.
Leave room for nature. Very abundant, telling you what the problem is. Yeah. It's called tree huggers. I mean, we've got they're busy building a double highway here to go out of town, and because there's a lot of head-on collisions because it's single, and there's a tree that's there. We literally got people, tree huggers, having court cases against the people. They don't want them to pull the tree out. So now they're building a highway with a tree in the middle of the highway. You understand? That epitomizes what these stones say. So what happens if someone's going to drive straight into that tree? Oh no, don't worry if they died. They were just careless because the tree was there.
I mean,
what's more logical? Getting rid of the nature that's in the way, or the people dying because nature's there?
build the expressway somewhere else.
You understand what I'm saying? It's insane. It's like,
but even so, like a lot of highways are just created for them to make money. It's all about money, really. Most things are built because of money.
okay, but like in our case, we're a bush town. We need the road to get to another place, and it's single lanes. Now we have a lot of head-on collisions because people get tired by sitting behind a truck or whatever. They take a chance and they have head-on collisions and die. Now they're making it a double road so they wouldn't have to have this issue. Now the issue is they're keeping a tree there because the tree has been fond memories for the people growing up there. It's a picnic tree. Now the people are going to drive into a tree in the middle of a highway just because they have fond memories of it when they grew up.
Right. How big is this tree?
It's a big tree. It's an old tree. It's hundreds of years old. But what is more important, a person's life or a damn tree?
Yeah.
See,
right.
If I was head of transport in South Africa, I'd think there must be a middle ground. Maybe the road could go around the tree, so the tree either being knocked down or being in the middle of the road.
That's the problem. The road is already next to the tree. It's one of those picnic spots right next to the road. Now, the only way you can extend the road is that way, because next to it is literally, how can I put it, bush. It's what's the name, land, nature reserve, and the Crocodile River. So
nature reserve? What,
yeah,
like stuff with trees on it?
No, it's next to the nature. We're literally, I mean, like I said, I live next to nature reserve.
We've got land that's in a nature reserve with no trees on it. Next to it, which is outside of the designated nature reserve, there's a really big old tree.
Yeah.
But we can't go into the bit of nature reserve with no trees. Knock down the tree that's on the.
See, and that's the other thing. It's like people are like with reservations in America.
But you understand?
They say it's sacred ground.
But you understand the problem here. The issue is nature is getting the say all over people's lives, and that's just stupid to me. Why?
Sounds like the head of roads is a retard.
I concur. I concur.
I think that's a title.
And actually, India has a lot of those one-way roads where everybody's going every which way at the same time. That's when I was there, we witnessed 4 fatalities within 40 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a tree in the middle of the road. It was just more people.
It reminds me of M62 here, where there's a farmhouse in the middle.
Yeah, that's the point. I know that one over the top as you go to Leeds from Manchester or vice versa. Yeah. But what
That's
they did do, right, was just like narrow the lanes and leave the house in the middle. It goes around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Around the house, not through the house.
Exactly.
Just some stubborn farmer that won't sell up.
Yep.
Don't you love him for just doing that as well?
Top buy.
Yeah.
Smith, I don't think there will ever be a time where there's no nature, though.
No.
I mean, look at old abandoned towns and stuff. Nature is taking over. Remember, entropy still exists. So even in the towns and stuff that's built, it's still going to, over time, be overtaken and overrun again by nature. It does take a while.
You destroy nature back faster.
Yeah, nature's just going to attack faster. And I'm not saying it's wrong to plant trees and stuff. By all means, plant trees. The more, the better. But when you're putting people's lives in danger for a damn tree because of memories of when you were younger, having a picnic under the tree, that's just, to me, idiotic.
Yeah.
I mean, move the tree then if you think it's so great.
I mean, we have a thing in America where well, at least in here, that if you destroy a tree, you have to plant a tree.
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I still think, I mean, like we were talking about the giants and the dinosaurs in the beginning, I do believe there were bigger trees as well. I mean, if it was more oxygen, if it was a more oxygenated environment, I think we definitely had bigger trees and bigger everything. I think everything had gone down with time, with oxygen levels and everything. Because, entropy, obviously.
Do you think some of those plateaus are actually tree stumps?
I wouldn't say that, but I would say there were definitely bigger trees and bigger animals and bigger people in those days and lived longer.
I'd love to see what the size of an apple was.
Well, I know when I was small, the fruit was gigantic compared to what we get today. And
I can remember.
Oh, but you were small.
No, but I mean the actual size of them was definitely a big difference, and it tasted different. I don't know. Today it's but remember, most of the things we get today are GMO, so it's not.
And they started that around the 60s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Even before that, they started adding things to the soils to grow things faster and bigger.
I can remember Martin Leakey used to cover stuff like this years ago. Pictures of him carrying bunches of grapes, and they'd have like a big pole and 2 men would be carrying a big bunch of grapes between them. They're only drawings, right? But you can imagine maybe that was the case at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, come on, wagon wheels used to be massive, now they're tiny.
Because if things were bigger too, it would take more trips to transport them.
Yeah. But I mean, look, let's go.
And they would
Let's, for
obviously be a lot
instance,
heavier.
I mean, let's for instance look at those huge stones, stone slabs. I mean, only giants could have worked with that stuff.
Yeah. Them ones at Lebanon.
Yeah.
They're massive.
I think it's 11, eh? There we go.
Baalbek at Lebanon.
Yeah, there we go. Look at the size of this stuff. Tell me a normal, ordinary human being of our stature could have worked with this stuff. I mean, those days were, remember, those in the days there was no hydraulic machinery or anything. I mean, they had perfect cuts and everything.
No, I'd bench press that for fun, Flax. Wait.
I mean, what's the explanation for that?
Huge.
Rope and sticks and pulleys and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really have to say. When we were younger, like when they showed Moses and all the slaves building the things for Pharaoh, like thousands of Jews with Hebrews with the ropes around them pulling this huge 100-ton slab. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Totally misrepresenting.
I used to work on railway and concrete sleepers. Now they're not very big, but I'm telling you now, 2 men can't move them hardly.
Yeah, that's it.
To me, that's actually a
Water can move massive objects. That's for water can move it, and vibrational energy and resonance can move that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's just true. But how did they get it to make that vibrational energy to be able to move it? Interesting.
Well, if it's not that one time that I was projecting into Egypt, then then I don't know.
You might have been cause for it all, Lumpy. You might have projected back into Egypt and you did it all.
It's crazy.
Water though, if you direct a river a certain way, you can move massive pieces of stone.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just like
Yeah, but wouldn't you need like massive pieces of stone to redirect the river in the first place? That type of thing, you know? So it's.
But I mean, look at this giant history door. I mean, don't you think there's a reason why they had huge doorways?
Yeah, well.
I mean, what are the reasons you need to build such a perfect, huge doorway for something? Why would you?
I guess weren't they doing it for the gods or whatever?
I wouldn't know.
Like how tall do you think some of these people were?
Well, they
How tall do you think the giants were?
Depends on the giant, and I mean, do you think maybe Adam and Eve were giants?
I believe they were bigger than us, definitely.
Yeah, I also believe. I mean, especially
Definitely could be. Weren't they said to be like 12 feet tall or something?
I mean, especially.
But that's not even a giant.
But I mean, especially if you think about it, when when the demons came down, or the fallen angels came down to procreate with humans, it's going to be a bit difficult for a giant angel to procreate with a human woman of our size today. You understand? So I would think they were bigger at that time.
Well, do you think that they were actually doing it by sex, or do you think that they were putting their light into them?
There's loads of accounts of angels meeting humans in the Bible, and they presented exactly the same as other humans, same size. And
also
everything.
true, yeah.
Then babies could have been not born normal size and then grew to be giants.
Yeah, like I said with the Nephilim, maybe that's why they were giants. Well, that does say Nephilim is caused by the fallen who procreated with humans. So, but yeah, it's just speculation to say what size they were and if they really had sex with them or whatever. You don't know. I just find it interesting.
I mean, they could have just touched them and got them pregnant at that point, because weren't they trying to be like God anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like this for a door?
Which one?
You're gonna see it now.
Oh, you kidding me?
Nice.
No
Is that a real
way.
thing?
No
Yeah, it was a Turner Prize 2016 nominees in the shortlist, so it was for an art thing.
No way, that's crazy.
I mean,
is that Ace Ventura?
It's a bit.
May I ask you a question?
Curious.
Oh, I hear my daughter's awake. So, no other subjects you guys want to chat about? It is you decide the subject night. Yeah, Rachel says Adam was 90 feet according to many ancient cultures.
90? 90?
Yeah, 90.
Well, damn.
That
That must have been a huge apple then.
You've got titans after that as well that are meant to be miles high as well. I mean, don't know how true it is, but you do hear of them titans being like miles high, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I can present something. I actually wanted to keep this for when I do the celestial navigation. But I mean, I can show just on this 3 so long until when I do get it done. It gives the information up of it. It's just some interesting things I want to show. So it's just going to be 3 slides for now, but it's just a small part of a presentation I'm working on about celestial navigation. Remember when I had Ruef on and Bacon when he was doing celestial navigation of flat Earth for us that said to be impossible. And then they moaned and said, oh, but it's 545 or 54 kilometers out the fix. Well, anyway, the information they had on there was wrong. I had to change this information to get it to correct. All the things were wrong. I think it was like 30 kilometers or 40 kilometers difference.
Right.
Okay, but anyway, that's not what I'm on about. Look at these 3. These are 3 different maps. The AE map, the Mercator, and the equirectangular map. Now, we all know celestial navigations, there we go, use the Mercator map, correct?
Right.
Their navigational chart is based on the Mercator map. Now, based on these fixes, the AE map was only 511 kilometers from its destination. I mean, that's quite close. That's not bad if you take it into consideration. The Mercator map is 2,500 kilometers out, and the equatorial angular map is 2,196 kilometers away. So I think that is a huge difference, and that makes the AE map much more accurate than their maps. So I just thought that is a very interesting thing. Obviously, these are all based on Protothad's video and his how he got it. I mean, look at the difference there. That's the AE map to where his actual position was, compared to the Mercator map to it and the equirectangular map. Same data, just different maps. Remember, I was trying to explain to Ruhov that it's the map that causes the dysfunction. It's not the data. So the mere fact that he got it possible to do celestial navigation using flat that said was impossible was him literally throwing away the globe argument in the first instance. That's why I was so happy he did it. But yeah, this is just the start. I'm just a taste to give you guys of what I'm going to show you.
What's that grey map with circles in it?
That's the circle's equal altitude.
Yeah.
But like, there's only 2 circles overlap, and then other little circles.
Exactly.
They're all supposed to cross each other, aren't they?
Yep, they are, and they don't they don't cross. They only cross on the AE map. They don't cross on the Mercator.
So according to that, you still don't know where you are then.
Exactly. Because
is that where the 500k is meant to come in? That
there we go. 511 k's. Yeah. It's 511 k's from. Let me bring this up quickly. I actually put it on the Google Earth. So.
Is this what you're going to show next week?
No, I'm working on this presentation still, but I just wanted to give a taste of it to show, because I want to give the right the method as well, because the globies don't think to actually know the right method, because I don't know if you saw Protothad, he drew it on a globe, his circles, he didn't draw it on a map, and you're supposed to use navigational charts, which is based on the Mercator.
If you, I love old maps. Have you seen the Jester map?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that what you're showing there is what they're doing with the Jester map. When they do the Jester map, they're taking the piss, saying, look, we can make it look like a jester's face at the surface of the earth, and winding you up in the 1500s as they're constructing this. They've got the original grid, and this is what you're showing here. It's the map. You plot the data that works on the original grid. You just as well do what you've done there on the Jester map.
Exactly. It's all, because that's what I was trying to explain. It's just coordinates. You can place the same coordinate base on a pineapple if you want to. It's not going to change the data that the coordinates are based on. It's going to change your outcome of the fix because the map is warped. And I'm trying to explain them. That's why they got such a horrible problem with like the Mercator. Look at that distance difference. It's crazy. I mean, it came up to, the Mercator came up to, I think it was 2,500 kilometer difference or something. Measurements. Yeah, 1,522 miles, nautical miles, 1,349 nautical miles. And that's, remember, the navigational charts are based on the Mercator. But because the way they did it with the methods has the discrepancies why it's out. So when you go and look at like the AE, it's got a much more tighter value where they actually come through. It's only 276 nautical miles out. That's why when you asked it, oh, it's 540 kilometers out, are you happy with that? I said, yeah, it's not bad. Because I knew if they're going to put on the other maps, it's going to be way out.
And this is a Northern Hemisphere fix.
Yeah, this was all done in the north, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to match the AE anyway, isn't it? Because
it's more accurate, yeah. I mean,
they're all the same. That, the globe, reality are very close in the north.
Yeah, I mean, this is the difference between where he was compared to what the AE picked up. I mean, that's not, okay, it's a big difference, 500 Ks. But if you take it into consideration with this is the Mercator, it's more than double, and the equirectangular, which is also based on the globe. I mean, that's a huge difference. But that's because their method was wrong, and that's practically what I'm going to be doing a presentation on. Their method, the way they do it is wrong. So they're straw manning us by saying, oh, look, your fix is 500 kilometers out, but it's just a straw man because they did the wrong method. That's what I'm actually trying to explain. But yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Not fully, so I look forward to seeing the full thing.
Awesome. But yeah, the circles don't align on the Mercator and the rectangular, guys. It only aligns on the AE map. Only.
Eduardo said, we don't draw circles on the Mercator, we draw lines of position on the Mercator. Learn how it's done.
Eduardo's also using royal we.
A line of
I know he's using the we again, yeah.
Yeah.
A line of position is that arc.
Yeah, the lines of position is literally that arc that's intercepting, Eduardo.
You know, just when you get it onto the chart, the arc is often so big that it's just as easy to draw a straight line on the chart.
Yeah.
Try and put some nonsensical bending that it doesn't need. That's there. That would be so hard to differentiate on the chart. That's why it's a line of position.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, seriously.
That's how idiotic they are.
That's ignorance. Yeah.
When last have you seen someone use a map big enough to bring out a whole circle of equal altitude on? That's why they just literally use it for literally that intersection. That's why it's a line of position. But that's why I said these are just straw mans. That's why it's a straw man model thing he's created, yeah, to try and show it to be wrong. But like I said, at the end of the day, Ruev did the impossible. He did celestial navigation for us on a flat map, which he said was impossible. So I didn't even care if the AE map was to 10,000 kilometers out. He did what he said was impossible to do.
Yep.
But yeah, that's practically just the building blocks of what I'm going to present.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that once it's finished. Oh.
I really appreciate when people do the impossible.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Adam, because I don't know if you heard last night, I was talking to Rocket Man. Did you hear that conversation?
No.
Well, anyway, it turned out at the end of the discussion that I ended up having to have him now, having the burden of proof to prove Earth as a globe is a closed system. So where's the container around the globe Earth?
You've got to prove to him that there's a container.
No, I asked him, so is the Earth a closed or open system? He says, no, okay, let's go look. And he says, it's closed. I said, great. So that means it's got a physical boundary then, because Earth is a closed system. It can only let energy, no matter through. So I said, okay, cool. Now the burden is on to you to try and provide us evidence for your dome around your sphere. Now, taking notice that your Kármán line is 100 kilometers. We go past that line.
And this guy's called Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might want to watch
Rocket.
that. You might want to watch that discussion. It's because Lumpy came and first presented, and then afterwards he came on for a discussion with Bacon, and then it was just him. But yeah, oh wow, a lot of things conceded.
Bacon didn't last long, did it?
No, he ended up he ended up running.
He did.
As soon as he saw the first possibility to run, it was just gone. Yeah.
But I want to see him dismantle a phone and show me barometer inside it.
The robot inside the phone.
Well, let's take for instance. Yeah, I'm gonna do this quickly. Mr. Sensible. I actually wanted to use it on today's video, and I forgot to put it in my video. Very clever of me. Okay, I don't need that music. But this is Mr. Sensible at the Burj Khalifa, guys. I want to go where he's going to try and prove. There we go.
So before we go up, we're going to have a look at my barometer and set it. So we've got 1012.5 hectopascals at ground level.
Already, yeah, he's debunking his globe. Because you literally got a pressure reading and he's using a surface for that pressure reading. So that I found very interesting. That it doesn't get that using a surface to give your pressure reading, or literally debunks that gas pressure doesn't need containment. But you see, they're so stuck on, look, if I can provide you the explanation, look, it's pressure gradients, then I think that somehow debunks the actual argument. It doesn't. It actually makes our point. But
It's
anyway.
very interesting to see what it's like when we're at the top of the Burj.
Just in case for the music there.
Also, he's inside a building with windows.
Yeah, he's inside an elevator now, going up in the Burj Khalifa. It's an open system still, guys. He thinks it's some kind of sealed container. It's not sealed. It's still open to the environment. So it's the same as climbing Mount Everest.
Wow.
So he's seeing a drop.
I've no words for our stupid Mr. Sensible.
He says, look, Ma, glow proof, holds phone up. So he's literally making a point that the gas pressure is dropping with altitude. So hence, the same system is showing pressure gradients.
I was going to say, what's the point of this? That
Yeah.
we're demonstrating radiation in a pressurized system.
This is just him showing his inability to understand it's the same system he's going up in. He thinks because it's an elevator, it's now a closed system. This is how moronic these people are.
It's glass elevator, is it? Got perfect seals.
Yeah, exactly. If it was, he wouldn't be in there, would he?
Oh man, it's crazy. Still music. But anyway, look at that drop. Wow, Mr. Sensible. It's like you're stating the obvious as something we don't know. I mean, this is the kind of arguments we get from the Globe guys. Stating the obvious that we literally aren't saying isn't possible. I mean, it's the same with Debatable D earlier, where his argument was what causes the... I mean, some people say there's no acceleration, so he's proving there's acceleration. It's not the acceleration that's the issue, it's what you claim causes the acceleration. Just like the pressure gradient. No one claims there's no pressure gradient. The claim is you require containment to have that pressure gradient. So now they show us pressure gradient instead of how you can have it without containment. While he's going up in an open system, in an open container in a system. It's sad. Wonder if he's gonna...
It's not sad.
It is. I'm sorry.
You
It's sad.
gotta say thank you. Who can afford to go for deliver, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get in that great evidence of containment for us. Well done. It certainly doesn't support a ball.
Yeah, exactly like Rachel says, they don't think you can have a pressure gradient in a container, while he just literally made a claim he's going up in a container showing pressure gradient.
Please tell me you weren't walking around there wearing that t-shirt.
He did,
I
yeah.
can't believe he's promoting himself like that. Come on, Mr. Senseless.
And he paid an extra £100 to go up to the top floor, guys. That's why he's a VIP. Okay, but let's listen to what he has to say about this, though. Because I think it's going to be quite telling what he says.
Burj Khalifa, 585.36 meters. Absolutely astonishing. The air pressure has dropped by 64 hectopascals down to 948.5 with no container.
What are you standing in now, Mr. Sensible? What's that next to you? Would that be glass?
Yeah.
Double wrapped, isn't it?
I know. He knows the argument, so I don't know why he's saying that. Come on.
He's literally inside a building, which is an open container, and he's saying without containment. This is why I'm laughing my ass off. These guys don't understand what containment is. I mean, look at blue balls. Brings in a pipe, shows pressure gradient in a pipe, and says, "Look, no containment." What's a damn pipe? It's a container.
Yeah. A container doesn't have to have a top.
It's idiot. I mean, when I just drank my coffee earlier, was that not a container containing the coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Between atmospheric pressure down there and up here.
I just had to show that, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the type of arguments we get from the Globe. It's just misunderstanding on how things work. Literally not understanding what the argument is and thinking they somehow got you.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel sorry for him, like I said. It's sad because he spent an extra £100 to do that so-called experiment.
Was the £100 to be able to wear that t-shirt or fire?
Probably. Flatolic says, is your claim the lift is sealed? The lift is not sealed. It's an open system. It's in a container, but it's open, Flataholics.
Flataholics is a classic case of not understanding what we're talking about.
Nope. But yeah, that shirt was just very telling. He has to lie to himself that he's sensible.
Yeah. Whilst stood in front of a big flat horizon, horizon at eye level.
Yeah.
Well, in the beginning, he says he went up there so he can try and use his theodolite app, his clinometer or whatever, to try and find that the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. But he says there's just too much smog and stuff, so he couldn't see.
It didn't show that then.
No. It wasn't clear enough.
I was looking at those numbers. It's only a 5% change.
That's nothing.
What is? I'm not sure what he's demonstrating.
He's trying to demonstrate. Look, we have pressure gradients without containment.
Containment, yeah.
He's trying to say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in a container.
I appreciate that, but he's not shown without containment bit, has he?
No.
He's just shown a gradient, and thank you.
In the same
Beautiful.
system. Yeah. That's what I was trying to explain last night to Rocket Man. Earth would be classified as a separate system to space. So if it's a open system inside the adjacent system of space, there wouldn't even be a pressure gradient. You're required to be close to have a pressure gradient. Because what happens when volume increases? The pressure decreases. And that's exactly what happens the higher you go with altitude. Because there's less collisions, so less pressure. It's very simple stuff. But I just had to, it's funny. Do you think there's any other stupid we can talk about? What other stupid have we seen lately? Oh yeah, they said I must do something about the ISS of what, Bob the Science Guy. Apparently he brought out an ISS video that they say we must laugh about. Oh, Science Guy song. No, I don't want the song.
I'd like to ask Bob, because he professes to be a satellite rocket dude, isn't he?
Yeah.
With the advent of the Chinese using balloons,
Yeah.
and if I wasn't to presuppose that balloons are the only way to keep those things up there, that maybe Bob's orbital mechanics does really have a purpose, honest Bob. Why has he never disclosed this to us? Or was the Chinese satellite strapped to a balloon news to him and an alternative income, rival industry to him that he had nothing about? And if not, why did he never choose to disclose it to us that there were two ways of satellites working and only one?
Exactly. Because remember, the whole time, throughout the years, you've known this, they're telling us you're talking rubbish that there's so-called satelloons. Now, there's literally evidence of satelloons, so they need to make a different argument for it. No, it's not a straw man, Flataholics. Space is a separate system than Earth. If you literally, Earth is classed as a closed system, that means separate to space. So if it's closed it's classified as a closed system, that means there needs to be a physical boundary keeping everything in. Too bad every time you have an astronaut leaving this boundary, it violates it's the law of non-contradiction, correct? It's a closed system, then how do you get matter to leave or code in to your system?
Why is he typing some words in capitals?
Because he's screaming.
But he's trying to talk down to you.
He's screaming, that's why. Remember, it's pain. This is very painful for these guys to hear. Very painful. I'm going to quickly bring this up before we go to Bob. Earth is a closed system. The Earth as a whole is typically considered a closed system. Full stop. A closed system does not interact with external systems. That's actually a false statement. That a closed system does interact with surrounding systems because energy is transferred, like the sun. Let's take a terrarium, for instance. A terrarium is a closed system. The sun interacts with energy through the boundaries. So that's actually false. So study.com is already wrong there. It only allows energy, but the transfer of matter, but not the transfer of matter. So it contradicted its own statement now. It only allows in energy. Who writes this stuff? Contradicts itself. But they're not the transfer of matter, which sticks to a closed system. Within the atmosphere, these systems do not interact with the universe. So if Earth is classed as a closed system, how do you have an astronaut leaving your closed system? Where's the boundary? Oh wait, the Kármán line, correct? Let's see. What is Earth's boundary? Why are you not typing? Earth's boundary line. Earth's boundary line. It's the Kármán line at 100 kilometers. Von Kármán suggested that the most reasonable edge of space would be near where orbital forces exceed aerodynamic ones. And opting nice round altitude of decided that 100 kilometers, 62 miles was a good boundary. So that would be your boundary for Earth. Since Earth is classified as a closed system, which is 100 kilometers up, how the hell can you claim astronauts are on the ISS 403 kilometers up? Do they not see the issue here? Or am I not making sense? I mean, it's very simple stuff. If it's classified as a closed system, you need a physical boundary. And your boundary is 100 kilometers up. Yet we see things go further than 100 kilometers up. So either it's not closed, which would mean the air we breathe would fill the available volume, or it is closed, which gives rise to why we have pressure gradients, but then you can't have anything leaving it to go to space. He says it's not a closed system, it's modeled as a closed system. Tell me how you contradict yourself without telling me how you contradict yourself.
Yeah,
model don't represent reality.
Yeah, exactly. What would be the point in that?
It's like saying here's a model of a submarine, but it's an airplane.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
If you stick wings on the side of a submarine, it might look like an airplane a little bit, but I don't think it'll fly like one.
Yeah, I got a question for Adam. If you take a balloon, is that an open or closed system?
Well, the inside's closed.
Okay, like a balloon, it's actually an open system because matter goes through its boundaries. Now, they can calculate it as a closed system because it takes time for that matter to go out. But does that make it in reality a closed or an open system?
Sorry, mate, I was sneezing and coughing there.
No stress.
Ask again.
A balloon, it's actually an open system because matter goes through its boundaries. But you can calculate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can calculate it as a closed system, correct?
If you want it to be, if you're saying a standard Christmas balloon, yeah.
Yeah, but in reality, it doesn't make it. Yeah, but it doesn't make it a closed system in reality because there's still matter going through the boundaries.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an open system with containment.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're claiming for the Earth. Just because they calculate it as a closed system, but it's actually open, doesn't make it a closed system. It just means
what they're claiming for the Earth, because they're claiming. When I say that, there's a physical barrier that is slowly permeable to gas behavior based on the molecular size of the physical barrier, not projecting any physical barrier in their model.
Yeah. But that's what I said, they actually contradict themselves because it's an open system, but they just calculate it as a closed system because they can't have it as an open system. They literally contradict what a closed and open system is in their model. So they sit with a catch-22 here. If it's open, then you wouldn't have the gas. But if it's closed, you wouldn't have anything leaving the system. The problem is you do have things leaving the system, so therefore it can't be closed. And if you do claim it to be closed, you would need to show us physical boundary. But they can't do that. So they're literally sitting with their fingers up their arse. Doesn't matter which way they go. They're dead in the water. It's actually very crazy. Do you guys want to go through a bit of Bob, the science guy, ISS position, speed, and altitude? And this is up Adam's alley because it's math.
Not fun. I'll pick this up his alley in a minute, yeah. I'd be interested in the term verifying. I like that word.
Yeah.
Let's see you verify it then, Bob.
This should be interesting.
Well, hi everyone, and greetings from Northern Michigan. This is Bob the Science Guy, and today I'm doing something a little different. I've been asked to give a presentation on a flat Earth server concerning my work with the International Space Station. Now, I'm going to release it on my channel first because flat earthers don't look at debunking channels, and I thought you may enjoy it.
Yet we're watching one now. Congratulations, Bob. Odd. Oh no, that was, and by the way, do you know Bob's been still scared to come and talk to me all this time? He still hasn't come back. That's why I call him Bob the coward guy.
Yeah, he'll just demand money and
yeah,
I mean, that's what he did. He demand money, but if anyone offered him, he probably still wouldn't come on.
Yeah, Adam. He asked me I must pay $200 so he can come talk to me. Crazy.
So he can buy a dome.
So he can buy a dome. We don't know what dome he's talking about. He wants us to buy a dome for $200 or something.
He's a cheeky amount he used to pimp himself around for free.
I'd like to hear your comments and any questions that you may have. So behind me, you can see the basic ground track of the International Space Station during this pass, which occurred several months ago. And this is the raw data collection. So on this frame behind me, you'll see the location of the ISS is denoted by this small white cross, and that's in real time. Below it, you'll see the altitude and speed of the ISS, and below that, you'll see the ground track. Now over here, we have a software-defined radio. As you can see, it is tuned to 437.8 megahertz. And that is this line right here. This is the frequency of the radio repeater on the International Space Station. It's part of the amateur radio package that they carry. Now, on the International Space Station, there is an amateur radio package, and that package consists of a radio repeater. So, if we have the ISS up here, and we have the Earth down here, what happens is that a radio transmitter down here can send a signal up to the International Space Station, and that's on 148.5 megahertz. And then the repeater in the ISS sends that back down on 437.8 megahertz, and I can receive it at a radio station over here.
Cool, so relay stations, in other words. That's what he's saying. So he's kind of telling us that the ISS is like a relay station, almost like our satellite, GPS satellites at work.
Like a satelloon.
Yeah, like a satelloon, exactly. Very interesting. So kind of going against what they're saying. There's not things like satelloons. Really odd stuff. But I don't want to see it. This is interesting. I wonder where that's going.
Just firstly, you know what gets me, like, when they claim that they can bounce these radio signals off ionosphere, in quotes.
Oh, yeah.
What determines whether it gets through or gets bounced back?
It's also true. How do you know there's not an anomaly that it doesn't even change the speed? You don't know.
Yeah.
It somehow always has the
How about it's not bouncing off
that I agree with you.
ionosphere? It just goes a long way.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, how about? I mean, yeah, even by us. I mean, we have I think it's like 2,200 meter mountain. And when I was on top there, you can literally be next to the radio towers and stuff. Now, these radio towers are supposed to be where all our dishes are pointing to satellites. They're pointing to these towers on the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? It's like insane. No, we're pointing to the satellite because that's where I pick it up. But then you backtrack it, it's literally to the mountain where those towers are.
Why did I have to get rid of Sky TV? Because some conifers over there blocked my signal.
Yeah. Isn't that mad, yeah?
And when guy from Sky come out and told me that, and I said, what do you mean? I said, I thought it was a satellite, and he just looked at me and went, "Fuck that."
Yeah, but even like, yeah, we got what like called DSTV. But if it's rainy weather, you can't pick it up.
Now, these two radio stations do not see each other. It's basically using the International Space Station as a communication relay.
They do not see each other. I want to know something. Let's just go back quickly. What do you think the distance would be between these two relay stations? Because he's making a claim they do not see each other. So I would expect him to show us the distance between the two, correct?
Yeah.
On his diagram, it says it's showing line of sight.
Yeah, it's showing like that's exactly what it's making a triangle.
Diagram, yeah.
I mean, I think the distance would play a big important role. So that would be something you would really have to show us, the distance between these two radio stations, because he made a claim they don't have line of sight.
International Space Station as a communication relay. This is a software-defined radio hooked up to an antenna outside of my house and into my computer. It's tuned to 437.8 megahertz, and that's this line right here on the waterfall. The ISS is way out west. Let's go ahead and advance that a little bit until we start getting a signal. And there it is. See it? See it starting to come through? Getting some stronger spikes. And there we go. Now that's called acquisition of signal. Now this is the frequency on which I'm receiving the signal. You'll see that it's 437.81 megahertz. That's different than the broadcast signal. That's due to something called the Doppler shift. Many of you have heard a siren coming towards you. You notice it's higher pitched as it approaches you, and then as it moves away from you, it's lower pitch. Now, as you can see, these are the signals from the International Space Station. And as we continue through, we see they start to shift from right to left. And then as the space station starts to go out of range, the signals fade away. So, let's go.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we all know what the Doppler effect is. So I don't think he really needs to explain it like that. It's like a guy driving past you blowing the horn. It's like, you know, that kind of thing. That's the Doppler effect. Yeah. Very simple stuff.
Go ahead and hit our first test that we're going to do.
Are you sick of having issues?
No. Adverts, thank you. Okay. Verify the position of the ISS by station passage. So here's a verification, Adam. But like I said, I'm also interested to see what he means with verify. Because he's taking signals.
I don't think anybody disputes that there's something passing in the night sky. You can see it with your eyes.
Yeah.
Recorded it.
Yeah.
So a rebound off of that is kind of supporting of what I already witnessed with my eyes. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't see the issue with that.
We've yet to get to the verification, I think, of its position.
But yeah, I mean, we all agree there's something up there, but it's not what they claim and where it's claimed to be. That's what we're saying. But again, this comes down to the same argument like I just showed with Mr. Sensible. They don't understand the argument, so they create a straw man. It's because they don't understand the argument. No one's claiming there's nothing there. We're just claiming what you're claiming it to be in where you claim it to be is not possible. Simple as that. Do you have any other ways to say it?
Are you asking us?
Sorry?
What were you asking us then? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's just well, I have my own opinion on it, which is I think it's something supernatural, and the next cover star is to explain why we see this light.
I mean, like we've spoken about this before. Has anybody ever seen the ISS being built there, or was it just all of a sudden just there?
Yeah, I remember it just being there all of a sudden. Yeah.
Even if they're going to go and do some kind of ping laceration, and they demonstrated it was at the purported height, what does that prove? That there's something up there?
Exactly.
At that height, in air?
In the same system?
Yeah, it's contained in this gradient. I'm not sure what that proves. I like I say, I don't dispute that they've got the technology to do these things and show these things and get pings off these things. It doesn't mean it's where they claim it is, which is in a
space
second
vacuum
law of thermodynamics violation,
exactly.
outside of their closed system.
Exactly. That's the whole point, yeah. That's why I said they create strawmans, because they're not taking the actual argument, they're creating an argument to burn.
These people that take video of the ISS, they're all using Wi-Fi capable phones attached to a telescope. They're not using like an actual camera that is not Wi-Fi capable. I'm beginning to think these things that they're seeing in their cameras is just augmented reality. Like it's actually programmed into everybody's phone that if you direct your phone through whatever lens you want, right, that it's programmed into your phone to show it. Because I don't see anybody ever taking video with an actual camera. It's always a screen attached to a telescope, not raw footage.
But even so, like you look at other stars, and like you look at Saturn, that's got a ring around it. You look at Jupiter, it's got these little moons that are like a tail on it. That could just be another star. It looks like a blob with wings, and they've made ISS to resemble that shape in the models. You know. But that's just how I see it. Anyway.
Yep.
Well, if they're using green screens and blue screens and they're busy underwater filming all this crap, then there's definitely not anything. There's nothing up there. And it would be augmented reality. It would be programmed into your phone. It would be programmed into your cameras. That whenever you point direct, whatever device you have, that you're watching a video clip on your screen in augmented reality time.
We're going to use the Doppler shift to verify the reported location of the International Space Station. Now, the way that we're going to verify the location of the International Space Station is to take advantage of a property of the Doppler effect. Now, as the International Space Station approaches our location here, we're going to receive it at a frequency higher than the broadcast frequency of 437.8. As it goes away from us, we're going to receive it at a frequency lower than the broadcast frequency. However, as it passes us right here, we are going to receive it at the broadcast frequency. So let's have a look at the waterfall and see where that happens.
Did he just give them, he said lower, lower, but he wrote the same broadcast frequencies? 437.8, 437.8, 437. Or am I just very tired? I think he wrote exactly the same. 437.8, 437.8 minus 437 plus. Yeah, that's how the... okay. Whatever.
Frequency. So let's have a look at the waterfall and see where that happens. The lower this is, the longer it is ago. So these are the current readings from the radio. These are readings from some time earlier. Now, as you see, it starts off above 437.8. And by the time we get up here, it is below 437.8. However, there's a point right here. At that point, we are receiving the radio frequency from the ISS at the broadcast frequency, 437.8.
Now, do you think that would be possible that a relay station can also do that? Just change the frequencies? I mean, it's like setting a ham radio. You can change the frequencies, correct?
It sound, I mean, I might be wrong because I don't really know, but it's like, to me, it's like a sniper trying to hit someone at 200 miles away that's moving. How is that even possible?
No, I think it's possible, but like I'm saying, could it be that it's based on relay stations and the frequency is just being bounced by changing the frequencies? So it gives the effect of Doppler. I mean, you can have a frequency change from a relay station. They can change the frequency, the bounce back. So it seems, I mean, think of it like a pinging frequency. So if you ping it in a sequence of that frequency, and in between that frequency, you're literally putting another change of frequency. So let's say I don't know if I can draw it. I can try. This is just a very rudimentary kind of way of explaining it. Let's just say it's a frequency wave, correct? Now it goes, that's now different frequencies. So you're sending the same frequency right through, but as soon as it goes, that ping has just had a different frequency and it goes back to normal. So as soon as the timing has hit your receiver, it had a different frequency hit. So therefore you say, aha, therefore it was above me now. Because you just send out a signal different and send out a signal different with that. So it makes up a cock.
They could just throw a satelloon up there and send you frequencies.
Yeah. But I mean, it's very simple for a relay station to send different pulse of frequencies. I mean, that's why I asked in the beginning, how can he prove to us that those relay stations don't have line of sight? What's the distance? Because this can be faked. It's very possible to fake this. So he can say, yeah, this is what I believe, but can he verify what he's saying here cannot be faked? I mean, you can literally just change the frequency it's giving out. It's like ones and zeros. You're sending ones out, and in the middle of that string of ones, you're sending out a zero, and then again ones. So as soon as that zero hits your relay, you're going to pick it up as, I've hit the right frequency. Very simple stuff to do.
Why doesn't gravity magically act on the International Space Station?
Apparently it does.
It's a giant piece of metal, right?
Well, it's falling sideways all the time.
But yeah, so it's like I don't see, like, none of you know what augmented reality is then.
Richard G. But am I making sense? Did it make sense what I was trying to explain?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I have to draw it with ones and zeros rather. Like, this is, because I know the globe is on this thing. Let's say it's ones and zeros. Okay? It's sending out the frequencies. But in between, they've sent that. So it picks up. So your receiver is picking up 1, 1, 1. Oh, now it picks up a 2. Now it picks up a 1 again. You understand? So it picks that up as a different frequency. So therefore, it gives you the Doppler effect based on frequency. But it could just be, like he said, the relay tower, and they have line of sight, just sent with 1, 2, 1, you understand? 2. So then you pick it up as, I've picked up the 2, so therefore it's right overhead. It's very simple to be able to fake that. Okay, let's go on.
So let's see where that is. Now, once again, here is the map with the reported location of the International Space Station. As you see, it's right at the tip of the thumb of Michigan. However, it's already past us, according to this. So let's back this up a little bit, right to the point where it's making that transition over. About right there. You see the frequency?
See the frequency. Oh, now it's buffering. One of those buffering things again. Was perfect. QB just went live, guys. So I don't think we're going to go on much later because, I mean, it is anywhere 12:30, yeah. Maybe I have to download this quickly.
Frequency right here at 437.8. And that is the location of the ISS. Looking at that map, you can see Saginaw Bay right here.
Why?
Notice that the ISS is about half the width of Saginaw Bay and in line with the Saginaw Bay. So let's pop over to Google Earth and see if we can locate that position. So this red line is the reported flight path or ground track of the International Space Station. We saw that it went right over the tip of the thumb, and that's what it says it did. Now, we have a position out in this area.
Really? Okay. Maybe I have to download it.
Where that radio frequency that we are receiving shifts from being higher than the broadcast frequency to being lower than the broadcast frequency. That station.
Okay, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to download it, guys. Sorry. Oh, man. You still with us, Adam?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the purpose of this.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, it can easily be faked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not verification of anything. It's him just literally begging the question and then affirming the consequent based on his begging the question.
Well, from being higher than the broadcast.
So, I mean, like I said, remember when he said there were two relay stations? Now, they're sending signals to one another. It's easy just to change a frequency in between those pulses, which gives now, once it goes over his station, it gives the Doppler effect. I mean, let's say the station's there and the station's there. Now it's sending the frequencies over, and in between that frequency it's just changed to the right frequency and back to another frequency. So as soon as it travels, every person that's going to pick it up like that is going to take it, it's above me now. You understand? It doesn't make it above them. It just makes it, you've picked up the frequency from the two stations. So this is to you, Bob. Would you be able to show us that they are not in line of sight of one another?
Frequency to being lower than the broadcast frequency. That station passage and our location will be at 90-degree angles to that point. So let's see if we can locate that point. Now our position.
He said the dreaded 90, guys. Or what would 90 degree entail? Horizontal?
Horizontal.
Was in
I'll
line
say
with
one
Saginaw
thing.
Bay.
Yeah.
Augmented reality came out in the early 90s. By the time it was perfected, that's when they say the ISS went up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely use augmented reality a lot today. That's
Oh,
their main
definitely.
staple of
Yeah.
faking.
Like, I know there could be a Satelloon up there, alright? We've seen it now. But to say that there is a football field size, it's just so dumb. You gotta say it out loud and then you realize how dumb you sound. Anything they do, anything they claim, you just have to say it out loud to yourself. Let intuition take over and what you know and believe, and then you're like, oh, well, they're obviously full of shit.
Michael, are you banging?
Smashing the
Are you
keyboard,
breaking?
yeah.
Are you breaking
Smash
your
these
computer?
keyboards on my fingers again.
It sounds like you're having a boxing match with the keyboard.
Yeah, that's Michael's big
You
sponsor.
know when I'm addressing the trolling chat.
Half the distance of Saginaw Bay beyond it. So about right in here. Let's see where I marked it. So I have it marked about right there. And I think that that's a pretty fair location. So there's the tip of Saginaw Bay, and that is a 2-kilometer circle. Now, if you draw a 90-degree line to that point, I should be on that line. So let's zoom out a little bit. So that line goes from this position up to the Traverse City area. I am located within 1 kilometer of this line. Now what we have done is we have just verified that the International Space Station is within 2 kilometers of that white cross, and that was just a random point in its orbit where we marked station passage.
They are good disagree. Like I just said, what happens if the frequency is just having a change from relay stations? Doesn't make it now that it was there. Not that we're saying it's not there. I'm just saying it's possible that there's different reasons for what you're getting. Very simple stuff. So it'd be great if you can show. So it's not verification actually.
I'm going to have to do one, but all of this seems to be based on a premise that these guys comport to a pre-designated way of tracking this thing, what the tracking will mean, what the intonations in the Doppler effect will mean, and how that will then be interpreted in their grid system. I'm not sure what they actually do other than pick up this frequency and make themselves feel clever. It seems like a Dunning-Kruger trap to me then.
Yeah, sort of.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not. There's certainly fundamentally no personal verification here.
Not whatsoever.
You get me?
And they can track the ISS, but they can't track airplanes.
Mate, you're not tracking the ISS. You're picking up a radio signal that's telling you
it's there.
that if you interpret it this way, yeah, it means this. You're not doing anything yourself.
Yeah, that's just, and it's programmed.
Everything being told.
Yeah, it's everything
You're not
being
even
told.
seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I said. You can easily fake this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only reason the only validity it has is the way you've been told what the signal change will mean. That's all. You've not done anything.
Yeah, so there's no verification. The only verification he's made is his belief. That's it.
What did I say? You know, the only way that Satan can get to you is through their technology.
And
Right.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
What, sorry?
Just all bullshit.
What, sorry, Adam, what'd you say?
Yeah, I'll say it's been fun, but it's getting late.
Yeah,
and,
even this side, I'm tired. I mean, it's 20 to 1.
Hi, Adam. Take care, mate.
Thanks for
Good night,
coming.
Adam, mate.
Thanks for coming, Adam. Really appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, nice one, madam.
Gentlemen, all have a good one, and yeah.
Cheers,
Bless
cheers.
you. Bless you.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye, bye. Oh, it was good to have Adam on. I am actually also quite tired. I think we
Yeah,
can
definitely.
carry on with this another time because, I mean, his first position is already shown not to be verified.
Definitely, definitely.
So,
But it's
You
a
know, if
different-
somebody
it's
still
different
has a VHS, sorry.
yeah.
You know, if somebody still has a VHS tape recorder and they attach that to a telescope and actually get footage of the thing, then we'll have something to talk about with me. But otherwise, I don't believe a fucking thing that NASA tells us.
Yeah. But
I tried to be at NASA, and as soon as I wouldn't go and sell all my shit, as soon as I wouldn't move, as soon as I, wouldn't sign their little documentation, I was like, yeah, they're full of shit.
Yeah, but I mean, even like I said now, can he provide us evidence that those relay stations don't have line of sight? And can he provide us evidence that it's not just sending out different frequencies in an interval? Because remember, it travels. So now the distance depending on the two relay stations, he's in between those two relay stations. Now they're sending out, like I just did in no layman's terms, ones and zeros. If it's changed to that frequency, in that frequency line it's moving, and he picks it up, that's when he's going to say it's above him.
Mm.
It's as simple as that. It's just timing.
I think they have satellites positioned all around relaying signals to people that are actually interested in trying to track the thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they're like, oh, there it is, but I didn't see it. Well, and that's the same thing that goes along with, if they ever go back to the moon. It's like we have cameras, but see, the augmented reality. If you have an old camera with a super strong lens, then we'd be able to watch something go up there to the moon.
Yep.
Like actually watch it. But they don't do that. They give you animation, they give you CGI, they give you augmented reality. They've done it for years. Like what's 1998? That's shit. That's a long time.
About 25 years ago.
Can you believe it? Are you saying we're old?
Wow.
Oh, man.
98. What was I? 22. 98.
Crazy.
And they say that the ISS is in our atmosphere. Well, if it's in our atmosphere, it would crash and burn. Well, maybe not burn because there's no gas on there or whatever. Whatever they got, oxygen. Well, it would then. Who knows? It's just so stupid.
It's stupid, yeah. It's a flying tin can in the vacuum of space, falling sideways, that just appeared out of nowhere, and people literally can go to it even though it violates natural law. It sounds very plausible. So yeah, I think that was a good stream though.
Was good. They're getting longer every night now, aren't they? They're getting lengthy. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it was quite a long stream again. I enjoyed it.
It's gone fast though.
Yeah, that's right, Blue Pill. Let's play Zelda as it's live in our society. That's hilarious.
So yeah, but that's what I said. I think we'll go on with that Bob thing. But for this first part, if you guys can let Bob know to just try and verify us the distances of those relay stations, and
What I were on about with ionosphere is the claim. Well-known Marconi sent his signal straight across flat Earth.
Yeah.
But the ball claims that it bounced it off this ionosphere. So if that's the case, how do they know whether that signal's getting through it to ISS or whether it's bouncing off the ionosphere?
Also true.
That's my question. What is it like? Sometimes it lets the one through and then sometimes it doesn't. It don't add up.
So yeah.
It just sounds like another bouncing lasers off moon kind of bullshit to me.
Yep.
Every time they make a claim and then people don't believe it, they make a bigger claim, unfathomable, and then they're like, "This is the way it is," and then people are like, "Oh, wow," and then they believe it.
That's what has to be done when you're defending lies and stuff like that. You have to start lying to defend that lie.
That's right.
Richard G says you should listen to what Chris Hadfield said. He said they drop dirty laundry from the ISS and it burns up in the atmosphere. I mean, that alone tells you how ridiculous it is. They're making fun of everybody.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They're making fun of everybody. It's as simple as that.
Wow.
When let's see, what did they say? They made a plan to begin deorbiting the ISS in 2030.
Yeah, so they can make a new station. You know what? Realize is weird. The Sangong or whatever, that Chinese space station. Why is it not able to see the ISS and they able to see that?
Well, if there's this Chinese one, can you go outside and see that one as well?
I don't know. I haven't heard anybody seeing it.
Tracking that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody tracking that one. I haven't seen them even tracking each other before. So that's really odd.
Isn't it? Or is that one like geostationary or something?
Maybe. Before we close, maybe we can look it up.
It
now you've literally, now you've intrigued me to try and look. How dare you guys? Sangong. I think it's Sangong there. How do you spell that idiotic stuff? Sangong.
I don't even. To be honest, I've not even looked. I don't even know what it supposedly looks like.
No, the only glimpse I got of it was in the movie Gravity. That was it.
There we go, Sangong space. Let's see. Well, it's definitely in space. Let's see if we can put location. Location. Current position of Tiangong. Okay, Tiangong. Okay, it's a Tiangong. That's why. This is the current position. Let's now do what the ice is. Current position. Astro viewer.
And what happened to Bigelow Aerospace? They were supposed to do something for NASA for the space station.
No idea. Okay, so let's see. They are 9 south, 116 west. Tangyong is 40 north, 72 west. How is that for convenience? They're totally on the different sides of their globe.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, they know.
Traveling at exactly the same time, falling around the Earth at the same speed, so they'll never pass
so
each
North
other.
America. See, it's behind. The ISS is behind, but they would still be able to see each other, correct? Because the Tangyong is in North America, just above from North America, and the ISS is below, going the same orbit. But they should be able to view each other. Or do they follow different paths? They follow different orbits. Check this.
What?
This is the path that the ISS takes underneath Australia.
Right.
Up like that. And this is the path they go over Australia and under like that. But they would still be able to see each other from line of sight now.
Yeah.
Because it's just North America between them about. So they should be able to have line of sight. Let's see. Can ISS see the Tiangong Chinese space? Is the Tiangong. The Chinese space station Tiangong can be spotted with the naked eye due to its smaller size. However, it is fainter than the ISS. I want to know how far up. Let's see. Tiangong,
when it says fainter, then is it claiming that it's as bright as light when you see a SpaceX satellite. Because if that's the case, there's millions of them flying about.
Yeah. We might
and
have.
When I said there's millions flying about, I don't mean the satellites.
Okay, let's
I think
see.
there must be about 25,000 satellites in there, or something like that.
Yeah, it's constructed, it's manned, it's in low Earth orbit between 340 and 450 kilometers. So it's between 340 and 450 kilometers. So it can't make up its mind then. I mean, and the ISS is around 405 to 413, I think. So it's around about the same altitude, apparently. But can they see it? That's the thing. Has the ISS ever seen the Tangyong, and has the Tangyong ever seen the ISS?
If it's smaller, it has to be a different eye.
Tracking.
Don't size of it and how far above and gravity and blah 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 in that your orbit like.
I know in the movie Gravity they had line of sight with the Chinese space station, but that's a movie, you know what I mean?
Is this guy showing it? Using a scope, okay. So this guy's apparently showing the Tangyong. Ooh, nice barbecue chicken. I had chicken tonight, by the way. Nice braai. Banana salad and some potato salad. And my wife makes the most delicious pumpkin fritters with sauce.
Ooh.
Oh,
nice.
Now you're just making me hungry.
I'm hungry again, and it's 1 a.m. I'm actually supposed to go sleep. Okay, let's see. Is he going to? He's tracking it apparently, and he's seeing it with a scope apparently. Let's see. Okay, show us, show us. Is that it? I don't know. Sometimes you see, and then people say I should get a scope. It's like, yeah, but I'll get so bored. I'd literally get bored doing this. I don't find this very entertaining. I mean, I see this.
I don't find fake things entertaining really either.
I'll tell you something about going out with a telescope, right? You've got to, like, going out in cold and faffing about, and sometimes things aren't as easy to sight as you'd think they are.
Yeah. Can you even see anything on his scope at the moment? He's got a track, but it looks like nothing's in his scope.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's just the crosshairs. That's it.
What are we going to see now? Oh, it was a tree. I thought it was maybe the moon. Oh, then it goes black. Why can't you show it to us? Now you just literally pass the trees where it was supposed to show something, then we don't see it. Show us the Tangyong, man. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see black. Okay, maybe there's another one that actually does show. There we go. In post-processing. But where are you seeing that?
What?
Do you understand? That's what he's saying he's seeing. But where? Is it that?
Yeah, it's a bit dubious.
What the bloody hell?
It looks like a Klingon warship.
It's Brenda's phenomenon shoe. Brenda's shoe phenomena. It would be helpful if there was more than one tracking it. So yeah, guys, I'm actually gonna look more into this because I find this interesting. I want to see if we can actually see it, because then we're supposed to see it.
We don't hear too much about the Chinese space station, do we?
And it's, I mean, it's going past the same areas about.
All I know is what I've seen of it. It's far worse special effects than NASA.
Oh yeah. And like I said, the ISS is supposed to see it. Just like they're supposed to see the ISS.
They'd be flashing each other with torches, isn't it, from a couple of them?
High beams and low beams and that.
Send on a pair of dirty cakes for us.
But you see, this is one thing I say. It's crazy. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna worry about that now. So yeah.
I just found out the other night. I knew that, what is it? Is it Uranus is meant to be tilted? I didn't know that it was meant to be completely on its side.
Are you?
On its side.
PJ, are you a Muslim? Is your Uranus supposed to be tilted when you go to the loo? Because remember they squat when peeing, so that's why Uranus has to be tilted.
And the white with the left hand. Do they? Don't they? They use their hand to clean themselves.
Yeah. They believe it's hygienic or something.
Yeah.
I actually heard a debate recently, well, a few times already, with a Muslim debating a Christian. He's saying, you Christians are so unhygienic because you stand up peeing. I've been to a Christian's house where there's just pee all over. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Pee all over?
Yeah, that's what the Muslims believe, because they crouch, they crouch when they pee.
Yes.
So they believe because we stand and pee, therefore we just pee the whole world.
Yeah, you just spread it over the walls and everything, just can't be bothered directing it in the right place.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Aren't they the ones that say you can't draw Muhammad?
Yeah, you're not allowed to. If you want a death wish,
I can't.
draw Muhammad.
I can draw whatever I damn well please. All right.
No, they're very friendly religion, but they're allowed to kill you if you don't conform to Muslim authority. Yeah, that's very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for coming. It was a nice stream, nice long stream again. At least I got off tomorrow, so I'm going to go a bit on FED. Well, today.
It's
1 o'clock.
It puts ballers off a bit when there's no set plan.
Yeah. But I was going to do the Mandela stream tonight, but it's moved up because I want to definitely have Dave, Jesus Freak Computer Geek, and Brian Stavely together on that stream.
Have you messaged him?
Yeah, I've messaged. I'm just waiting for a reply. Brian says he's all keen. He's just waiting to hear from Dave now. So we're just waiting for Dave. I'm going to try and message Dave again, but now on Facebook, like you said, so we'll see what he says. Yeah, if you can message him, tell him I've emailed him.
I'll message him.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, because I mean, if I can set up a time with him next week, it'd be great. I know the 23rd, I think I got FE Pilot coming on. He wants to present Earth Curve.
Again?
Yeah, but this time he's done observations. So this should be interesting. And I can already tell you it's debunked because he's just changed the elevation. Says, you see, now I can see over the Earth curve because I changed the elevation. That's practically it. But I'll let him come present, because every time they present, they show flat.
It's destined to fail.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. I need to go sleep now. Thanks everybody in chat for coming. Thank you for hitting that like button and share. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for all the super chats, and Godzilla again for paying for the members. It's really great to see all the support. You guys are really, really great, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, really, really much. I'll see you guys later this evening with another stream, obviously. So that's gonna be great. Anyway, thanks for coming. Many blessings, and may the pressure be with you. Cheers.